with it. Free agency. What is this?
Oh, free agency starts in an hour, so that's probably what's happening.
Lakers signed 4 year. Oh, of course. Greatest franchise ever. Back at it again.
Max Christie. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna take all we can get, man. All we can get. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for coming through today for another episode. No Name Wrestling Podcast. It's going to be us for today, rocking it out here. Shout out to Lewis. Shout out to Mo, who won't be here today. We had something else planned. Well, I had something else originally planned, but I feel like there's just so much going on in WWE right now. It's just
we really should have been talking about this shit last week, but we wanted to get the AEW episode out. But yeah.
we should have did AEW this week because
tonight. Yeah.
I mean, because I feel like we had talked about the same shit last week that we did this week anyway.
Yeah.
So,
but after this past Friday, it got even better. So now we have even more shit to talk about because SmackDown.
Well, can we get out the way that I've sat on it, but I'm pretty sure Swerve and Ospreay is ending in a time limit draw.
Time limit draw?
Sure it is. Because I don't think they want either of them to lose. I know. Just like when because
that is an AEW thing though.
They didn't want Bryan and Hangman to lose right off the rip. And then I think Cole and MJF, they did I don't know if it was 60, but they definitely
That was 30.
Yeah, so like
if y'all ain't ever had that strawberry banana prime, oh man, this shit must.
I'm just saying they've been doing the vignettes about Hangman Page and he I'm just saying.
AEW is very old schoolish too. That's a very old. If you go back and look at a lot of the matches in the '90s, some of those matches were in draws. You know what I mean? Like time limit draws. So it's a very.
But the cards weren't 5 hours long too. So.
It's a very. Gosh, that pre-show has 4 matches on it. I'm like, oh my god, bro.
Yeah, I don't watch.
Y'all could have did this on Collision, bro. Like you could have did this on.
I don't watch pre-show, so I'm only gonna watch the main card. So whatever.
Fair enough.
But whatever's not on the main card, bro, it's just not on the main card.
I think it's like the Owen Hart Cup. I think it's whoever. I don't even know, bro.
You guys have already gotten as much AEW out of me as you're gonna fucking get. I ain't talking about AEW anymore.
No, scheduled. I just wasn't here last week, so I just wanted to get out that.
No, the show. I do think the show gonna be good though. I mean, they got a lot of matches that I do want to see though.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I just feel like when it came to Swerve, man, I don't know. That man's lost a little bit of aura points since he won the title.
That's how
it's either a time limit draw or Ospreay's winning. That's how I feel.
He's not winning.
I don't think Ospreay's losing clean.
I think Don Callis. That's correct. I got you. I think it's going to be I think Don Callis is going to screw Ospreay.
I know I said I was done, but are you saying you have faith in AEW that they're going to make any logical booking decision, G?
Oh no, that's exactly why I think it's gonna be a time limit draw because I think Hangman Page is probably gonna return or whatever because it's a big show. This is like their WrestleMania or SummerSlam it's not. No, I'm sorry. That's soon, but
that's for you, G.
I mean,
that's what the chat's saying, bro.
Hey, look, chat. If y'all follow me on IG, y'all have already seen me with a fresh cut. Hey, you see the name? I got a new job now, so I had to get a cut for the interview. So. You follow me on IG _G.
Why are you still wearing a do-rag? If it's cut.
Because, man. Gotta do
Show it off. Is your forehead bigger than mine?
Jay, that's not how you put it on.
I mean, my forehead is big, but my forehead is big.
That's probably why you hide it, bro. That's crazy.
All right, so like I said, I had a different episode planned for today, but I feel like there's just a lot going on that people just want to discuss, so we can just dive into whatever conversations, whatever we go into. Chat as well. You guys can chat along. If you guys feel free, if you guys want some questions, we'll probably answer a little bit of questions towards maybe the middle or end of the podcast as well, and be on the lookout for that. Who wasn't here last week? Just G?
Yeah, I think it was just me.
Just you? Okay.
Which I do have something to talk about though. I know because it's revolving WWE about a clip y'all posted. I mean, we can eventually get into it, or we could get into it now. But I know we're gonna talk.
Which clip are you talking about?
Sami Zayn joined.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. I put that one out there today. So
yeah,
we could dive into that a little bit. But there's a lot of things we could dive into. So question. I guess this is a question for everybody. Everybody here can answer this, including Jade. Let me see, Jade doing bad. 90 ECW Taz impression, bro. Everybody on the pod, I gotta know. This is an important question. So this is a very important question.
A lot of build up.
Do we all acknowledge our new tribal chief, or are we waiting for Roman Reigns to come back?
Hey, Solo Sikoa, count your days, man. Count your days.
Yeah. Listen, all I know.
I'm tired of the Solo disrespect, bro.
When Paul Heyman, here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to get Solo versus Cody at SummerSlam in the main event. I think that Cody is either going to win clean or he's about to, and then the Wild Samoans are going to come out and save the day. And when that fucking beat drops for the tribal chief to come out, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, it's going to be so good.
And you know what I was sitting back thinking, because I know Solo, he's been getting a lot of
yeah. Because before we dive really into that though,
he's trash, bro. I'm sorry.
Before we really dive,
is that a troll trash, or you think he's actually trash?
I don't think he's trash. He ain't got no aura though. I will say that he ain't got no aura.
That's where people lose me right there.
I'm gonna tell you.
No, it's bad. It's bad because remember the report. Even though we all kind of dismissed it, remember the report of they don't want to bring Jacob Fatu in so soon because it might take away from Solo. Bro, that entrance, I was like, why is he not the leader? I was like, why is he not the leader?
Jacob showing up enough did it. He didn't have to throw a super kick. He could have just showed up.
Right, but what I will say is Jacob Fatu these past 2 weeks has legitimized this new bloodline. Is like, I can kind of take you serious now, because I'm not gonna lie, the Tama Tonga Tagalova, they was kind of losing me. But, and shockingly enough, shout out to Dub, because he made a good point to me when we was talking about it a couple days ago. He said Solo Sikoa, even though you might think, oh, whatever you want to think about him, he's doing a really good job of making you want to see Roman come back.
Oh yeah.
And once he said that, combined with what just happened on Friday, I was like, okay, Solo, I get it. Because I think originally when we thought Solo might take over, we thought he would be taken and presented a little bit more serious, like, I guess on the day-to-day end before he got this faction, right? All he was doing was losing. He was like 0-30 something, and everybody knows you lose all the time. It's gonna be hard to take you serious as the new big bad. You know what I mean? Especially trying to come after Roman Reigns and what he just did, right? But I think Solo is just kind of playing his part. I think eventually Solo's going to get that big win. I think he's going to inevitably win the feud, because it's all about making new stars. So I think he's inevitably going to win the feud when they finally blow it off. But yeah, right now, these past 2 weeks, this is what I felt they could have done with Solo from the get-go. I get, long-term storytelling and all that, but this is the first time I felt like, okay, Solo, like, I can believe you as their leader, and you're not losing anything. Like, that's how I felt. So,
see, if you look at Solo from the beginning, he's had 3 different character changes within a short amount of time. You go back and look at him in NXT, he was a street fighter, and he was in NXT for a short amount of time, but didn't really win too many championships. But I think everybody knew when he was presented in NXT, they eventually felt he was going to come up with the bloodline, because that's all everybody really talked about. So his short amount of time in NXT, he stood out very differently. He came up to the main roster, and what Jacob Fatu is now, that's what Solo had to be in the beginning. He had to change everything about his gimmick. He had to talk less, had to be more serious, because that's what the bloodline needed. They needed an enforcer. They needed an imposing threat. If you go back and look at all the stuff between Solo, the Usos, and everything like that, there's a reason that Roman Reigns never once bullied that man or treated him the way he treated the Usos and Sami Zayn, because Solo was the biggest threat within the group. Go back and look at the storytelling when he would like bump into Solo, when Solo would look at him a certain way, Roman would kind of back off like, man, I'm sorry, I ain't mean it that way, you know what I mean? Because he knew Solo was going to be that next guy. He even said it was on Solo's going to be the next guy. Now, he didn't say that it was going to happen when he lost and he left, so he didn't say that it was right now. So obviously when Roman comes back, we don't really know what to expect. He never really, he said Solo was next tribal chief, but he never said like, you next tribal chief when I lose, you next tribal chief when I say you next tribal chief. We don't know when he's going to step up. So once Roman lost, Solo then again had to change, and he's now has stepped up as in that role, because that's what he's told that was going to happen to him. Now, obviously, he's a different type of tribal chief. He's bringing in people that obviously are out of their minds and crazy and can't be controlled. So this makes the bloodline more unpredictable, because they don't really analyze the playing field and think like the wise man was there for, you know what I mean? So they're pretty much just doing whatever. And obviously what Solo is doing is a copy and paste of Roman. That's how it's supposed to be. That's what the entire concept of stealing his catchphrases and telling people to acknowledge him. That makes you, like you said, that makes you want Roman to come back even more, because like, oh man, now this guy, he really think he Roman Reigns, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doing everything that Roman was doing. I love everything they have done with this man since from NXT up until now, and he's done every character change to the T to me because he's had to change within every aspect, with probably either just for the better of the story or just because he was told to, and a mixture of both actually, and he's done it very well, going from the Street Fighter who was a more serious type of athlete in NXT. You know what I'm saying? His finisher wasn't even the Samoan Spike in NXT. He was doing the Uso Splash still, so he had a different type of moveset. He then changes into the Enforcer, and once he changed to the Enforcer, he had to be more serious. He wasn't talking much. He just pretty much came out there and did Roman's dirty work. That's what he was known for. Like, he was known for just handling the Tribal Chief's business because that's what he needed to do. You know, that's why I feel like if you look at that story aspect, the reason Roman never treated Solo that way is because Roman knew that he needed Solo more than Solo needed Roman because Solo was the problem solver. He was the one handling business. You know what I'm saying? He was the one that was saving Roman in all those matches. He was the one helping him out in all those matches towards, like, you know, the end, obviously, until it all blew up in his face. So then he changes into the Tribal Chief. Because I don't know about y'all, when Roman left and he started talking more, I'm like, bro, this is kind of weird. Like, he don't really talk.
Well, I think
he don't really talk too much. And then he started coming out in the suit and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is different now. Like,
well, so here's the thing. I think when he started coming out in the suits and all that, it was just kind of like we hadn't seen it yet, so obviously there's an adjustment period. But like, stop wearing the gloves. Please. I don't care what he needs. I don't care how much aura he gets. Stop wearing the gloves, bro.
Please.
Like, I'm cool with the gloves. I don't like the suit, bro.
No. I used to hate.
I hate the suit too. I hate everything, bro.
But I used to hate when AJ Styles would come out, jeans, shirt, and still got the phenomenal gloves on. Like, stop it. Like,
no, but see, hold on, because this is where I've seen this too. Is that people hate Solo's presentation. It's all on purpose. Like, Solo in character, because again, for a lot of people who join in, I mean, we understand this is all scripted, whatever. But Solo is doing what he thinks. Like, Solo is that kid who watches a gangster movie and thinks that's the way gangsters act. That is Solo Sikoa. He didn't pay attention to anything Roman Reigns did except for the finger and the catchphrase. That's it. That's all he took from Roman was the finger and the catchphrase. And then everything else he does is like, again, he's a child who watched a gangster movie and said, this is how gangsters act. I will also say, just because Malik brought it up, NXT Solo, guys like Braun Breaker and guys like Ilya Dragunov and guys like Carmelo, in my opinion, are lucky they pulled Solo up to do what he did when they did it. Because I think if they hadn't done that, Solo would have run NXT for a long time.
Oh no, I agree 100%.
That's another one of those butterfly effect things that you look back on and you think about it.
Because remember, they gave him the North American title win, but then it was like, he's gonna be like what they did with Dom. What they did with Dom in that title, they easily could have done with Solo. So maybe it was just.
But then it was like, but at the time too, though, Solo was still undefeated too, though. So it's like,
so they couldn't have him lose.
Who does he lose to? You know what I mean? Like, who does he lose that title to? I like everything they've done with him, especially it makes the Roman stuff interesting because realistically, if you look at it on paper, Roman's biggest threat, I think, was always Solo because he never once provoked him in the bloodline. Never once even attempted to provoke him. You even go back and look at that Civil War match last year. Roman literally had to get uplifted by Solo in the match to keep going. Within that match, when Roman was like, bro, what is it gonna take? Solo never once broke kayfabe. He never once broke face. He's like, bro, get your ass up. We gotta handle this business. You know what I'm saying? So when they match up, to me, a lot of people obviously expect Roman to win or don't believe Solo's gonna win because Roman has the bigger aura. But from a storyline perspective, it makes it interesting because we never saw Roman provoke him like that. You know what I mean? So when he matches up with Solo, what's that really gonna be like? Is Solo gonna have his number? Is Solo gonna lose? Is he gonna prove that he's not that guy? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because they never teased that interaction fully of them kind of imploding. Because at the time, Roman Reigns knew, like, all right, I need this guy on my side. Can't really make him mad. And Solo is kind of like, Solo really is going, like, what Solo was, that's what Jacob's gonna be. I think Jacob's gonna be a more savage version of what Solo was, though. Like, Solo was the unpredictable, quiet guy who, you know, didn't really say much, but you overstepped them boundaries. All right, I'm gonna have to handle that problem. You know, even when he was losing, he's still beating people up and making sure Roman was in that secured spot. I think Jacob's gonna be that guy, but he's gonna be a more wild and savage version of that, you know, that enforcer character.
I mean, that's what this bloodline is, just more wild and savage. There's no real order, or there's no order, and there's also no order outside of Jacob. But anyway, I mean, I was at work, bro, and they had SmackDown playing on the TV. I saw Solo in the suit. I was like, bro, everybody in this place know that nigga's not him, bro. Like, what did you do? He was like, I was like, bro, stop. You're not him. Stop. Please stop. And I saw Jacob. I was like, that's a star.
Now, and I was about to say, so with that report, like, I'm not gonna lie, and it's been going around. Def Rebel, whatever the crap they're called, they seem to only cook if you're Samoan. Because that entrance, that theme song was amazing. I was like, hey.
Yeah, all the Samoans got good songs.
Tamatanga, they all do, yeah.
But what I feel like with this segment, what I felt like it did for me, I was like, okay, you have now made me care to see Solo get beat up. Because before I was just like, we know where it's going. They'll probably win the tag team match and then he'll lose his SummerSlam. Now they've officially made me care. And credit to WWE because I feel like they actually look ahead of time. I think they sat 2 months ago and was like, all right, this show's at Madison Square Garden. We know it's going to be a big crowd, lit crowd. This is when we're going to do the big angle. Because Paul Heyman been trying to get out of that for a minute. That was like a 10-week thing of just him like he had to stare off with Jey Uso, like,
I don't know if you guys remember. There was a picture I saw side by side on social media. I can't remember where it was, but the last time they were at MSG was when they, after Money in the Bank, when they attacked the Usos, and then there was that segment in the ring where Solo had picked up that Ulafala and he was looking at it, and Roman was like kind of freaking out a little bit, kind of demanding it back, and Solo kind of wouldn't give it back. That was an MSG too. That was like a year ago, like to the T. So they probably did set it up like, okay, Madison Square Garden, that's where that kind of happened. Let's make sure that kind of went down.
I mean, they do have a continuity guy, so
yeah. So I like, honestly, this they don't need to add anybody else to this bloodline. Like if they wanted to add Hikuleo, I would still be okay with it. But like the way this bloodline presentation is right now, I think everybody is playing their character to the T. Like especially when Solo cut that promo and he kind of made sure everybody knew who they were. Tamatanga, right-hand man. Jacob, the enforcer. Tonga Loa, obviously, is now teaming with Tamatanga, so they're going to be the tag team. And Solo now is in charge. I like how they're playing everybody and how we know everybody's role. Now, okay, this is who everybody's going to be. Now we kind of wait and see what's going to happen when Roman comes back. Because like you said, when he comes back, it's going to be one of the craziest reactions you've ever heard. Like, it's going to be... No, it don't matter where it is. It could be SummerSlam. It could be SmackDown. It don't matter where it is. It don't matter where it is.
It's crazy. Especially if he comes back the next week, right? And the bloodline surrounds him, and they're like, "Oh, you're alone." And then fucking day one-ish hits, and then it's like, "Oh, hey, it's still 4-on-2." And then the fucking Jimmy theme hits, and oh my god! 3 points I want to make real quick. I don't want to get carried away with all that because that's in the future. Number one, because we're talking about on this episode of the podcast about how WWE is on fire, right? That's the name of the episode. And yeah, all the bloodline story stuff is great, but just the fact that we are sitting here casually discussing God and Jacob Fatu being in WWE, it's just a part of every day. That's just a part of every day now. Fucking God and Jacob Fatu are on SmackDown every week, and that's just a part of our lives now. Is insane. Number two, the thing about the bloodline story that is, it carries it, and it's the best thing about it is all the little fucking details. Like what do you call it, Malik? What is it?
The Ulafala.
The Ulafala. Because now we have to wonder, how the hell did he get the Ulafala? Where did he get it? How did he get it away from Roman? Why does he have it in a bag? And now we have to answer those questions. And then lastly,
did Roman have to give it up?
And then lastly, and number three, and most importantly, Paul Heyman is a wrestling god. Yes. He is a genius for everything he does and everything he puts into. And listen, there's stories going around about, oh, he legitimately didn't sleep. I don't know if I believe that. That can be attributed to makeup. You can attribute that with makeup. But the fact that he stopped shaving, he stopped dyeing his hair because he wanted to sell that he's stressed out. The fact that they said, we kind of want to put you through a table, Paulie. And he said, yeah, go for it. And then his delivery and his delay.
Bro, that pop that he got when he said Roman is
insane, bro. Yeah.
He got a pop just from saying one word, bro. One word. This is the crazy fact that for the first time in his life, Paul Heyman is going to be a babyface ever. Like to be loved.
Ever.
Like he's always been a heel with Punk, with Lesnar, with Roman. Like he's always been that heel manager that you knew if you were with him, you're like, oh man, you're with Heyman now. But like he said one thing, and got a crazy pop reaction. That's how crazy the storyline is.
Yeah, man, look, Jay, you hit everything on the head. Paul Heyman, man, like we always talk about the bloodlines. They go through their little periods of, all right, it's kind of getting stale. It's kind of, but they always find something. Whether Sami Zayn, whether Solo coming, because I think Solo, whatever the case, they always find something. I think that's always crucial. Now, this is where we kind of get a little right, because Malik, y'all talked about last week or whatever, Sami Zayn possibly joining the bloodline in this little.
Okay, this is gonna.
We assume
this will be
Civil
later.
War.
Yeah, that's what I meant during the war games. Realistically, I mean, I think we all assume that's gonna be the war game. At least I hope so. That's gonna be the war game.
I mean, it should. It should.
It better be. I mean,
what's the point of having the war games?
If you look at it realistically, it's the new bloodline versus the OG bloodline, and the OG bloodline was the Usos, and then they added Sami. A lot of people I think forget that, but Sami Zayn was in the bloodline before they added Solo too. So I think a lot of people forget that aspect. Now, yes, Sami Zayn we know is not Samoan. He's not one of them technically, but the way I'm looking at it. I don't think Roman is going to go out and try to get a new bloodline. I think he's just going to try to go back and get the older bloodline that worked for him at one point.
People he could trust.
This new bloodline. And Sami Zayn was a part of that. There's a reason he was the honorary Uso. You know what I'm saying? He was welcome into the bloodline.
Well, that's what I want to comment on. Because you're right. Kayfabe-wise, Sami Zayn would be the one to make sense the most out of anybody not part of this family. So, like, let's just say Zilla doesn't show up, right? And they just decide to...
They're going to throw him in NXT.
Yeah, probably, most likely. But let's just say that's what they decide to do, right? Fine. I'll understand it. It'll be a great pop. The little mini nostalgia feeling. Cool. But I feel like that's where it's going to end. And for me, it's not even necessarily that he's not Samoan. It's just the way, in my mind, I'm looking at it the way Triple H books. For example, Bayley and Bianca. Bayley's a babyface now, full blown. Right. But her and Bianca still got beef, even though they're both faces. In a kayfabe, technical, logical sense, Roman and Sami should not be on good terms. Jimmy and Sami shouldn't be on good terms if we keep it above. Jay, if they go the route where Sami and Roman maybe have a stare down, and he's like, I still don't like you, but I rock with Jay, so I'm gonna do it for him. Fine, cool.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. That's exactly
and you forget this is Sami Zayn, like one of the most like, okay, I accept redemption people in WWE. So if anybody's gonna accept redemption and a redemption arc from Jimmy and Roman, it's gonna be Sami.
Which is why I understand if he does do it, because before I was like, no. Then I kind of thought on it. I was like, you know what? If he does, I'm cool with it. It'll be great regardless. But just the only like little devil's advocate I push is that I feel like this bloodline civil war, unlike the first one, if we keep it a buck, this bloodline civil war, I feel like it's actually going to have real bloodline consequences. Like whoever wins this, that's letting you know who's leading on into the future.
And that's probably why Sami doesn't want Solo to win, because he's like, this is not the bloodline I can respect.
Right, but in
there's two ways that
Sami. Well, last thing, I feel like the same breath. I feel like, because let's just say after they have this match, right? No matter what happens, Sami's not affected.
For sure.
Cool. If he's not,
for now.
Yes,
he's probably thinking like I could always get drafted, and
to be honest, you got to think too.
These bloodline studs, bro. They don't follow rules, so they can just show up on Raw whenever.
You got to think too, bro. You don't think Sami see how they treating Kevin Owens down there on SmackDown, bro? He's struggling, bro. They struggling down there on SmackDown, man.
The other thing,
Kevin always chewing on the
hold on, because the other thing too,
the number one up, bro, is Kevin Owens.
You're making your assumptions. You're making your assumptions.
4 years, bro.
based on the fact that
let it go.
Based on the fact that the bloodline's going to keep going. Now, listen, the bloodline stuff, as great as it is, it has to end sometime. So I
in like 10 years,
in my opinion,
I think I'm playing, bro. They're Bullet Club.
Well,
they're WWE's Bullet Club.
I know, but what I'm saying is that I don't think that an old bloodline versus new bloodline War Games match has to be winner gets the bloodline or winner gets the Fulala or winner gets whatever. I just think crazy. I think whatever it is. I think Roman, the Usos, and Sami coming together would not necessarily be a reunification of the original bloodline. I think it's more that we are banding together to put down this thing that we are partially responsible for. Because Roman's the one that brought Solo in. The Usos are partially responsible for Roman no longer being the champion. And so I think that all of them now feel a sort of what am I trying to say? They feel responsible. They feel responsible for what Solo and Fatu and God are doing over on SmackDown. So they reunite temporarily. They take out the monster and then they break.
That's
up.
back.
So,
and I feel
God got his lick back. He's getting his lick back.
You know what I
feel you, which is why what's it called? I'm not tripping because before I was adamant like no, I don't want to see that. I've changed my tune. I'm dead not tripping if he shows up. It would be a great moment. Everybody loves Sami. You know, I mean, honestly, he's probably not going to be IC champion for long. If not by Money in the Bank, for sure, SummerSlam, he's done. Like, I think Braun Breaker should be the next IC champ.
At Money in the Bank. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he should be the next winner. So, what's it called? I'm not tripping if Sami.
We all know what you want, bro. We all know who you want to show up. Samoa Joe.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I
know. He's not a free agent though, is he?
I mean, he's still on. Nah, he's not.
He's still. But G-Baby always got hope. G-Baby always got hope, bro.
Shows up, I will be the happiest person. It can make zero logical sense.
If G-Baby had the pin.
If Samoa Joe shows up, I'm lit. We lit.
I look at it like two ways. There's only two ways I can see Sami Zayn going back into this. Number one is that the new bloodline becomes a problem for him, where he's like, all right, this new bloodline's out of control. They're my business. We need to handle this. Or two, I think Roman Reigns is going to have to. He's gonna have to tell Sami he needs him, bro. Like, I need you, bro. We need you for this. Like, I need you to take down. I can't do it without you, type shit. Like, he's gonna have to convince Sami that he needs him more than Sami needs the bloodline at this point, because he's cool with Jay. I don't think he'll have an issue getting back with Jimmy, because Jimmy was the first guy to welcome him into the bloodline. Had no problems with it. Him and Solo were too.
The first one to kick him in the face. So,
but that was because he did what he had to do for the family at that time. But, like, when the bloodline was first starting, Solo and Jimmy were the two guys. I was like, yeah, sure. Like, we don't care. Like, Sami Zayn, cool.
And also,
like, obviously,
and then also this new bloodline just kicked Jimmy out. So Roman and Jimmy are just going to be on the same page.
Yeah, immediately. So I feel like it's got to be one of those things where Roman's going to have to patch up the holes that he damaged within that family. I mean, obviously the Usos are family no matter what. Those are like his legit brothers anyway. So it's not going to take too much for them to come back to him, because that's his real blood. Sami Zayn's going to be the one they really have to convince, like, how do I know I can trust you guys? What's in it for me though? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do I have to do it? Like, I don't get anything from this. Then I think maybe, because Solo could make an argument too. I think the way I'm looking at it, Solo could make a strong argument to convince Sami not to join, because he never turned on Sami until he had to. Like, until it was time for him to do so. The only reason he had to beat down Sami was because he took that chair and hit Roman Reigns with it. So it was like, all right, you now have made your decision. But before that, he never had no issues with Sami. You know what I'm saying? He never once went after Sami unless he was told, like, you need to handle that. You know what I mean? So and Solo can convince Sami, like, bro, I never treated you wrong in the bloodline. I never disrespected you. I never did what Roman was doing, so you don't need to help them out, bro. Like, you don't need. If they wanted to go that route, they can play both sides. Where Sami can kind of like listen to both ends, and then eventually do that babyface stuff where he's like, I'm joining back, or whatever they want to do.
And something else Roman could do, I mean, because this wouldn't be the first time they've used this type of thing in a storyline, is that Roman could now tell Sami, if you can't do it for me, do it for my dad, because my dad would not be happy with what Solo is doing to the bloodline. I need you to help me fix what I broke. I need you to help me put my father's spirit back at the head of the table or whatever. So
can we give Jade the book? Like, Obviously, nobody ever wishes death on nobody.
Well, absolutely not. Yeah,
I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying. Obviously,
no, yeah, that could play a part to the story.
But
you also could look at it too.
Like that's perfect, Jay.
One thing I want to add, you also could look at it too. Roman can basically look at Sami, and he could be like, "Who do you really want, tribal chief around here? You want me or Solo?"
Exactly.
It's gonna be one of us. So if you want him or you want me.
I mean, it is funny though because I remember I saw a thing on TikTok where Jimmy and Jay were literally like, "Hey, I see the perfect man to be this tribal chief, and it's not you, Roman, it's Solo." And now they're about to fight Solo now that he's the tribal chief.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's like having a bad manager. You're like, oh man, like this dude's so strict, and then like he leaves, everything goes to hell.
Solo's that like you said, Solo's that one guy who's like, he's like that. What's that dude from The Incredibles that looked up to Mr. Incredible and wanted to be just like him? Syndrome or something like Syndrome. He's that, bro. He's what. He's that version of a superhero. He thinks that's what a superhero should be, but he turns out he's not the superhero. He's the villain. You know what I'm saying? Like he's trying to embody everything that is not a villain, but he makes himself a villain at the end of the day. Like he's trying to be this guy, but he's not really that guy yet. So I think that's honestly what they could do with Sami. They give him an ultimatum because there's gonna be a tribal chief, and he's gonna be like, you want me as tribal chief? Now I was a little crazy, but at least you know how I operate. You know how I do things. Or you want him.
The devil you know, or the devil you don't.
You don't know what he's gonna do. So that's honestly what it's gonna come down to.
We're talking about all this bloodline stuff. What can happen here, there, right? You know what's so tough? They're gonna have to start carrying SmackDown again. Because what does Cody do after this? The Randy feud.
Randy's gonna happen eventually. Yeah, it's gonna happen eventually.
But like, Cody about to be a background. Cody about to be a background extra, unfortunately.
Till the Rock comes back, which is interesting to see where Rock falls into all this because we still don't know. We still don't know.
There's different peaks of this blood. That's what makes the story so goated because there's different peaks. They've added so many people within this that have all made sense. They had the original Usos and Roman fighting each other. Then they got together. They added in Sami. Then they added in Solo. Then they got a little dry for a minute. Then they brought back The Rock, which he really didn't need to be a part of it. But the fact that
he revitalized that.
Yeah, the fact that they had to do an audible. And then he turned himself into the final boss. That made it even more interesting. Like, oh shit! And then after WrestleMania, now Solo's in charge. So there's different angles to this obstacle. I don't know if I necessarily think Cody will be an afterthought. He may not be a part of the biggest story, but I think him and Randy will be able to stand out themselves just because of their name value. Yeah. And I mean, as long as they can do that, there's not really, honestly, it's really hard for them to fuck that feud up. For being honest, like legitimately.
So then my follow up would be. So then we all agree Cody's holding that title bare minimum until next Mania then.
Yes, because they still got to do The Rock. They still got to do The Rock feud.
The Rock's obviously going to come back and they're going to do that stuff. So I mean, I guess it would just depend. It would just depend who they would have in line to beat him. You know what I mean? Because they didn't give too much to the draft for SmackDown as far as like depth.
Oh yeah, their depth is crazy. No. This is why. Hey, matter of fact, I'm glad we just brought that up because of how low that depth is. And this is all obviously assuming this individual does not win their match. You can give Gunther the Rumble win and have him beat Cody.
See, that's
if he don't win at SummerSlam,
that's what
I'm not gonna lie, because there was reports. Remember before CM Punk showed up, we all thought Gunther was a lot to win that Rumble. Well, most of us did, not you, but most of us thought Gunther was a lot to win the Rumble. Yeah, you too, Jade. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just before all that happened,
Before CM Punk came back, I thought it was Gunther locked. So you can give him the Rumble win this year. Punk can still get his main event because you know what I mean. Cody will still, honestly, Cody. I'm nobody's main eventing over the Rock and Roll. But let's keep that up. Let's just get that out.
But Rock did say though. He did say in his promo, whether you're champion or not, I'm still coming after you. So he did say in that promo, it don't matter if you're the champ or not. I'm still when I come back.
I'm not lying.
You're the number one target.
I feel like people would definitely care less if the champion's not involved. Because what's the point?
Well, the point is, number one, we don't know what The Rock gave him at the end of that promo. It could be a Rolex. We don't really know, but it's the whole. I think the bigger story is Cody took away what The Rock and Roman Reigns wanted. They wanted that. They wanted that WrestleMania. They wanted that WrestleMania main event, and Cody Rhodes took that away. He had the power to take it away, obviously, because he won the Royal Rumble. But that's kind of what I feel like the story is evolving. Like he took away what meant something to him. Like because if you look at their feud leading into WrestleMania, it really wasn't about beef. They had the family tree up there and stuff like this. This is what we're doing for the bloodline, and it's gonna be the biggest main event ever. And Cody was like, "Nah, we're not doing that, bro. I'm gonna go and finish my story, and y'all can worry about that another time." So that could be that they could go in that direction as far as the story if they wanted to. But that's just how I kind of look at it.
Something else you have to think about too, and I know this is just boring business talk. We don't like doing that on this show, but remember, SmackDown moves to USA in October. Raw moves to Netflix in January. So both of these shows are changing, and that we've seen before. We've seen before how the broadcast companies that present the shows can have an impact on the show itself. See the 24/7 title. See Brock Lesnar beating Kofi Kingston in 19 seconds. So we've seen this kind of shit before. Who the hell knows how things are going to get shuffled between now and January, especially with Netflix seemingly just being a fucking Wild West where WWE can do whatever they want. Especially, and I know we're going to get to it before the end of the show, but especially, oh my God, I can't wait to see what the Wyatt 6 does on a fucking programming with no limits.
Honestly, I'm waiting for the first superstar to drop that N-word on Netflix, bro. I can't wait for that, bro. First superstar to drop that N-bomb. That's when I know we're in a different era, bro. We're in a different era.
Hogan? Oh my God.
Hogan will come back. Let me tell you something, nigga.
When I hear that, we're in a different era. It's different times now, bro.
Someone said hashtag let Mello say the N-word.
I do feel like the touchline.
Honestly, he need to. He
need to drop it, bro.
No, honestly, he might need to. For real.
You know what? What are we talking about? Booker T can just show up. Let him do it. It's only right.
Oh, commentary. Commentary.
Yeah, let him commentate the first night.
Yeah.
Hey,
for you, nigga.
Hey, Jay,
no hate,
bro. Real quick side note.
Jay, quack, bro.
Because you brought it up. I'm not gonna lie. R.I.P. that man. Bray Wyatt would have loved to be on Netflix, bro.
It would
run wild. Just let him run wild, bro.
Hey,
Bo Dallas. Hey, you got my attention, game. I know you had that in your bag, so I'm with you, bro. When he was like, "Hey, so how did it feel when your brother died?" I was like, "Chill."
Yeah. I was like, "Damn."
Chill, relax.
I was like, "Okay, we just right into
it."
Right
into it, bro.
Damn,
that's deep storytelling, bro.
You know what I think we need on that? Because again, everything Wyatt related, I know some people hate it. I personally love it. But everything Wyatt related is always a slow build. You remember how long it took for the Fiend to show up? You remember how long it took for the White Rabbit stuff to happen, right? Mm-hmm. What they need, I think every week for the next 4 weeks, they need something similar to that for every member of the group. Because I think if you just throw them out there wild, because there are going to be some people, even if they know who's behind the mask, there are going to be some people left who don't know who Dexter Lumis is because he's been gone for so long. There are going to be some people who don't know who Joe Gacy is at all because he was on NXT. And all of them, if you really dig into it, have super interesting reasons for allowing Uncle Howdy to bring them into this fold. So if you explore that with all, because Joe Gacy was turned on by the schism, Dexter Lumis lost his entire family, Nikki Cross was betrayed by every friend she ever had, and then obviously Eric Roman has been through it. So if you explore those reasons for all of them doing it, it's gonna padding that group, and it's gonna padding that story. And I know it's gonna feel like a super long burn, and a lot of people are gonna hate that. But it's going to be so good moving forward, and everything they do after that is going to be so much better. Just do that for everybody. Because that was awesome. That was awesome.
Which also, too, I just want to shout out Dexter Lumis. Who knew growing a beard and making you like his... Like, I don't know if y'all saw the picture. They took a water breaker, which I'm glad y'all went to water breaker because Texas, hey, shout out y'all. But, what's it called? I saw Dexter Lumis. I was like, I'm not gonna lie. If he would have never came back on the Wyatt and just re-debuted the way he looks, I'd be so much. Which, I'm sorry, we don't gotta stay on this. Dexter Lumis, the way he looks in his presentation, I'm sorry. If you can make Ludwig be a credible threat in this mid card, the fact that Donovan Dijak is not on your company roster no more is trying.
We getting into this right now? We getting into this? You want me to spaz on that ball, motherfucker, Triple H?
Started.
Get it out. Yeah,
bro. Okay, all right, man. So, what do we talk about all the time when it comes to superstars, whether they're being used or not, how they're being presented, especially Jey Uso? What do we always talk about? We always talk about the crowd reaction. Okay, let's remember that. Let's remember the crowd reaction. We don't talk about social media. We don't talk about what people are saying on Twitter. We talk about what the people in the audience are saying, right? Karrion Kross. Before I go into this, I'm not advocating for anyone to lose their job. I'm just asking for people to be given an opportunity. Karrion Kross, he's on our TV every week. How many reactions does he get every week?
It was sad.
Not many.
0. When they went to Paris, France, they popped for everybody but who? Karrion Kross.
We know.
You couldn't even get a pop in France. It wasn't Paris, but it was France. You can't get a pop in France. In France, one of the best crowd in WWE history, literally from the top of the bottom of the card, they loved everybody. Everybody got a pop except Karrion Kross in the Final Testament. Donovan Dijak, or Dijak as in WWE, he was in WWE. He's a bitch, but he had signs in the crowd. Every week, you would see someone with a Dijak sign. Madison Square Garden, we want Dijak. You know how many Raw matches Dijak had?
0.
As many reactions as Karrion Kross gets every week. 0. So how can you sit here? You put this guy on TV every week. It's not like people on social media are craving Karrion Kross. People on social media drag Karrion Kross too. So by both metrics, nobody likes this guy. But Dijak, who has some fans that show up to see him, who you could probably build organically in your mid card, and he's beloved on Twitter. Still a bitch, but he's beloved.
And
he gets 0 matches.
Twice the athlete Karrion Kross is, by the way.
Twice the athlete. And look, Karrion Kross is a great character. He's a good wrestler. He's a great promo. But you failed him creatively. But you still continue to put him on TV to 0 reactions. This man said, I beat 7 world champions. You know who cares? Nobody. Why? Because your writing for Karrion Kross has been trash for the past year and a half. No one cares. But yeah, you give him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to 0 reaction. But you're telling me a guy like Dijak can't get 1 opportunity. Again, he's a bitch. But hey, he's talented. He's a talented bitch. Okay?
Talented bitch is crazy.
So Triple H, I can't defend this decision. Usually I'm like, okay, well, the guy wasn't really that over. Like, he would come out to get 0 reactions. I can't defend this, bro. Like, I can't just be like, well, like, I get it. It's a business at the end of the day, and it wasn't a release. It was just his contract just expired. But I can't defend this. There's no way to defend this.
Yeah, because all your points are great, and it makes me think that, there's a lot of people saying, oh, it was reported that he was a narc for Sean Ross Sapp. There's no proof of that. He's completely denied it. So as long as there's no proof, I have no reason to believe that that's true. But it kind of makes me think that there was something, right? There's something going on. Maybe he complained a little bit too much. Maybe he was whispering to people that he was frustrated. Maybe he forced his own way out. And to his credit, if that's what happened, who can blame him? Because the dude tore up NXT with Keith Lee for the better part of a year, had the best match on the card every night for the better part of a year. They call him up and they put him in fucking Retribution. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? And then when he's done with Retribution, they bring him back as this badass Terminator in NXT, and he's killing it again. And he's having great matches with Wes Lee, and he's got this great character on screen. And then you draft him to Raw, and he's had as many matches as Gable Stevenson. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. And this just
so wild, bro. That's so wild.
This just goes to show that as much as we love Triple H and the changes that he's brought and the freshness that he's brought, and WWE is super hot right now, he's not going to be perfect, and there are going to be things like this that leave us scratching our heads.
He's stubborn. He's a stubborn booker, too. He's stubborn as shit.
I was just about to say, even with, like, the fact that he is a stubborn booker, I would think Dijak would be one of the guys you're stubborn for. Like, there's hella guys in AEW, right? That I think Triple H would have loved not to get rid of.
Right.
But like Dijak, to me, when I sit back and think about it, it's like, all right, everything you would have want in the modern day wrestler, he had. Everything that shows you're a Triple H guy, he had. But then he went back to NXT in your new era of it and adapted to that. Like, I don't think Dijak in this NXT is the same Dijak in Black and Gold. He's adapted. He's shown you, hey, look, I'm not just one of them indie dudes that can just do all the wrestling. No, I can actually be an engaging character. Why they called him up, and this is what I hate. We talk about depth all the time. If you're gonna call people up from NXT to fill in that depth, you have to use them.
Yeah.
Like he easily could be on SmackDown. I'm glad Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin are finally getting on TV. Dijak easily could have been on SmackDown. Easily. Just put him in a qualifying match. Io Sky easily got put back to where she should have been just off of that Queen of the Ring tournament. Lyra Valkyria, I don't think she's the greatest promo. She's a little more white meat babyface to me. But how did she get over with the crowd? Y'all put her in a Queen of the Ring tournament and show what she can do. That's all you have to do for Dijak. Like, sometimes wrestling's not hard, guys. Sometimes if you just let people go wrestle, if Ricochet in 2024 can get genuine pops and reactions,
all right,
Dijak could have got some reactions, bro. Like
Shorty G got over.
Yeah, I mean, anybody in wrestling can really get over it, even if you have a bad gimmick. You just got to use it right. But to be quite honest, I'm not really surprised the way they use Dijak. I mean, realistically, when he got called up to the main roster, I was like, I don't really know what they're going to do with him. Because even though he was killing the NXT, he was just the guy that was jobbing to put other people over. He didn't win any championships. He wasn't presented as a main event guy. He was that guy that could have good matches and help make other talent. So when he came up to the main roster...
Who else that is? Ivar. He got injured. So why couldn't he take Ivar's spot?
And he could have took Ivar's spot, but maybe that's not the spot that he wanted though. Because the reason some people do leave WWE is because they're not comfortable with the spot that they want them in. Like Ricochet, I think is leaving because he understands this is going to be ceiling in WWE. He's not going to be a main event guy. He may have some top feuds here and there, but he's the athletic guy that can make other people look good in the ring. That you're going to have to put people over. So Ricochet is like, all right, well, I don't really want to do that right now. I feel like I still got so much left in my career that, I want to go out and pursue other things to prove himself. And sometimes leaving WWE could be the best for you. Leaving and going out to prove yourself, like a Cody Rhodes, a Drew McIntyre, and then the company could be like, hey, you want to come back? Maybe now we can do something good with you. Maybe that's going to be best for Dijak because Donovan Dijakovic was great. He was doing great stuff, but he was kind of the same how he was in NXT. He was a good guy, can have good matches, but was going to put people over. Then they threw him in the Retribution, and we're like, oh, well, that's nailing this coffin for real. Then they brought him back to NXT, had another great gimmick, but he was still that guy that's going to put people over to help make others look good. And then when they called him up to the main roster, I instantly was like, oh, well, he's not going to do much.
The fact that they called him up to Raw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Raw has so much depth to it, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Not saying that they couldn't have used him. They obviously could have used him, but I don't think he would have been. He would have been jobbing, for being honest. He would have been losing to people on Raw left and right.
Absolutely. And I'm just asking for. What I'm saying is the opportunity. He never got a single opportunity. Yeah, like he never got anything. Like Cameron Cross is getting TV time, and he's getting absolutely nothing. That's my point. I'm like, if
you're right.
I'm gonna say it again. Ludwig Kaiser is interesting as a single star. You could have gave Dijak. Hey, shout out Ludwig though. Shout out Ludwig. This ain't to hate on Ludwig, but in 2024, if you would have been like, yeah, I think Ludwig is gonna come and be a legit contender off the rip, mind you. He's only been doing this for like a month. Yeah. Off rip, a legit contender for the IC title. I'm not gonna lie. I know, but like Dijak easily could have beat Sheamus one-on-one in the match. Instantly, you're credible now. The same thing they're doing with Ludwig, you could have did with Dijak. Dijak could have came out, kicked Sheamus in the face. Sheamus is transitioning into that role where, I put people over. If he could put over Ludwig, he could put over Dijak, which, let's be real, that would have been way more believable for Dijak to be Sheamus than Ludwig at the time.
No, yeah. 100%.
So that's how I feel. Like, look, Triple H, you're not perfect. And maybe, also, too, one thing that I just think about, like, I think around the time of Black and Gold, I think Triple H realized, like, he wanted to keep everybody he possibly could. because we all knew what a death sentence was going up to the main roster. If you were established already, we knew that was a death sentence, right?
Right.
But I feel like now that he got more control, I feel like he could be a little. I feel like in his mind, he could be a little bit more picky. He could be a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, not realistically, not everybody's going to get used either. So he's going to have to figure out who he wants to use and who not to use. Some people are just going to be sitting back there doing nothing. Some people are going to be jobbers. Some people are going to be mid-card. Some people are going to be main eventers. So he obviously, I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating. But he's looking at the roster and he's like, I already got people that I'm using right now. I don't really, ain't nothing for him, bro. Like,
I mean, I feel you, but like to Nate's point, and even though I don't hate this nigga, Karrion Kross is getting no reaction. It's like no reaction is worse than a boo. Like I
understand, but we all know Triple H has obviously shown more value in Karrion Kross than he's ever shown.
Well, that's why it brings my point. Triple H is stubborn, and every booker has the wrestler that they will they will fucking to the death. They will try to book this man or woman to freaking prove their point, to prove that they're right. Like, no, this person's a star, and that's Karrion Kross.
Well, and one of the biggest struggles,
to his detriment.
One of the biggest struggles with Triple H too is that Karrion Kross isn't the only one. Santos is going out there to crickets every week too, and he was in the middle of a triple threat, and he put on a banger with one of the hottest feuds on SmackDown. No one gave a shit that he was out there.
Unfortunate.
No one cared. No one cared.
Very unfortunate.
But some people.
Also, to your point though, Jade, I don't think a lot of people care about that SmackDown division at all. If you're not dealing with Cody or you're not LA Knight and Logan Paul, except for the women, nobody like Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, Santos, bro. Even the Street Profits are kind of like they get cheered.
Well, that's one thing, bro. Triple H done. Oh my god, bro. What you done in the Street Profits, dog? Like. You really fucked the Street Profits, bro. Like this pairing with Bobby was supposed to be. It was supposed to be something special, but they were getting cheered, and you just backed up, and it's a mess, bro. Like,
they didn't make them heels when they should have. That was the first thing.
They backed out of it, yeah.
They backed out way too early.
Nobody cares about Grayson and Austin Theory. DIY don't even feel like it's kind of like
it don't, bro. They kind of feel very young right now, bro.
They kind of feel like that on Raw too, though. You know, like they kind of feel something.
Well, I mean, it says something that they chose that segment with DIY and Theory to do the reveal with Drew McIntyre last week. It says something that they picked that segment to have Drew McIntyre raise up the door and walk through with CM Punk.
Yeah,
it says something.
So I just think SmackDown is struggling. Y'all need a superstar shakeup.
And Triple H, by the way, because I said this before, Triple H did the right thing with splitting the belts. But the problem is, I honestly, as much as I love R-Truth and The Miz, I don't think he picked the right teams to split the belts. R-Truth and Miz's shtick, in my opinion, ran dry about 2 weeks after WrestleMania.
Yeah, they did nothing as tag champs.
They should have lost immediately.
They should have. That should have
been the Zack Ryder moment. Like,
Waller and Theory have had no heat. And by the way, I think Theory's going to be great as a babyface. I do, but they've had no heat as a tag team. And now the belts are right back with the Judgment Day. So,
shout out JD though. Hey, shout out JD. He deserves it. Shout out to him.
Yeah. Now, let's be real. If we look at this Raw tag team scene, right? This Raw tag team scene. Even the women's title, it's being used as a prop to further another story.
Yeah, and I don't want to shit too much on this feud because both ladies are doing everything they can. But Liv Morgan's Zelina Vega is not a world title feud. I'm sorry, bro. Like this is why you need a mid card. This is why you need a mid card title. Like this, like Zelina going after the mid card title would be perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
But she's not real tough tag titles as well.
Yeah, but this
and Raw's division is so good. Like Alba Fire is fucking fantastic on her own. She is phenomenal. Zoe Stark is a great wrestler. Shane, you already know how we feel.
We know she's cooked. We know she's cooked, but
she's great. She's great. Like you know how all of us feel. Like Shayna's freaking phenomenal. They have Kairi Sane, Io Sky, Dakota Kai on their own. Like this division would be so good if you had a mid card. If you had a mid card title,
and the thing is,
it would be so good.
And we talk about Triple H being stubborn as a booker, right? We talk about Triple H being stubborn. I thought the whole purpose of putting Bianca and Jade with them tag titles was to save it. I thought they were going to have a dominant run so that way when somebody beats them, it makes it feel important, like it's a big deal again. And they just lost immediately.
It's not the fact. It's not even the fact that they lost. It's the fact they're not going back after the titles. Like they're just done.
They referenced them in the first promo.
They had to go to the Money in the Bank stuff first.
Yeah. So maybe the SummerSlam win.
But realistically,
but then that brings up the point. You should have never lost it in the first place.
But
I'm fine with them losing it. I'm fine with them losing it because it was Scotland and Alba. Everything that happened with her, she deserved that moment. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I would again. It's one of those that Zack Ryder moment. I was like, they're probably gonna lose it Monday anyway. So this is a great moment. I'm happy for them. But it's just the fact that I don't know, and it's like as talented as that team is, they're not over in the States. And I was like, they're not. When they go back to Raw, they're going to go out to crickets, and they didn't really get a pop.
Who did they even fight? Did they even have a match?
They did. It was they beat Katana and Kaden Carter.
Yeah.
Another tag team.
That's really good. That's really good. But it's
to be honest though, the Scotland stuff. The reason they won the tag titles is because they had to give somebody in Scotland the moment, and Triple H had to choose. All right, it's either going to be Drew McIntyre or it's going to be these girls, and we either going to progress this storyline with CM Punk and have him lose, or we going to give Drew the belt. And he had to make a decision what was better, and they had to progress that storyline. So they weren't going to have everybody lose who was from there, and obviously Piper wasn't going to be Bayley either. So it was going to have to be a choice to make. So
speaking of being stubborn, that's the only wrestler Triple H is actually working with, Damian Priest. If you look at the track record of all the people Triple H has been stubborn with, Austin Theory didn't work. Karrion Kross not working. Damian Priest is the only one that's worked so far.
Honestly, yeah.
Oh my god, man.
There's other people that progressed too and stuff. I just feel like when we look at the roster, there's going to be people that are going to be in certain spots. Like Selena Vega is just used. She's a filler till Rhea Ripley comes back. We all know that. Like Liv's going to have to defend the championship, and she's just a filler until Rhea comes back, because that's the feud that everybody's looking at. Just the same when Rhea was beating Natalya and stuff. Those are just filler matches to get over, just to extend her.
Bro, she had she had a damn near a whole year of filler, bro, until she got to back. Yeah, let's just be real.
So
Triple H fumbled that.
Yeah, I mean pretty much.
Bro, Triple H fumbled that so hard, bro. She had like 8 months of filler, bro.
Y'all remember Rhea didn't really start feuding with people to that Fatal 5-Way, and then the Nia feud.
Nia Jax, Nia again. She saved the Raw Women's Division because.
Hey, who was she feuding with at SummerSlam? Was that Natalya?
Nobody. No. So she was feuding.
She was part of the Finn Balor and Seth Rollins match.
Yeah, but she was feuding with. Well, technically, she was feuding with Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. But she also had a little feud with Raquel and Liv. But then Liv got injured, and Raquel got injured, I think. Yeah, and then she came back for Payback.
Raquel had that skin condition.
Yeah.
I mean, so in fairness, I'm not gonna hate on the Reign too much, because two of the people I'm assuming she was supposed to feud with both did get hurt. However, that does not excuse.
They got a story there too. They got a long story.
Yeah, but however, that does not excuse that we've been saying since you took over, you have not treated this women's division properly. Hey, you got back on track with King of the Ring though. I'll give you that. You made a new
King of the Ring was great.
Io finally looked back to being her credible self that you could have.
And they're building her up. They're building her up again. I like.
Which is annoying, because when she had the title, all she did was feud with Mia Yim. That was so annoying.
I feel like
so annoying.
I feel like I should jump in, because I was wanting to say this week anyway. Because again, I know we're talking about a few negatives, but the point of the show is that WWE is hot and Triple H is cooking, and he is for the most part.
Yes.
There's something I got to say, and I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna.
It's about CM Punk.
No, but listen, I want to preface this by saying I reserve the right to change my mind with further information. But as of now, I can't believe I'm saying this. As of right this second, I was wrong about Nia Jax.
Oh!
Yeah! Good. The man has come around. Has come around.
Right this second, as of now, up to this point, this second, I was wrong about Nia Jax. She's been great. I've seen maybe one thing from her since she's come back that's made me think ooh, don't do that, But for the most part, she's looked safe. She hasn't been overly abrasively annoying with her character like she was previously. Mm-hmm. I think she's done just enough as the queen of the ring, and kudos to her for winning it. And based on what they're doing with Bayley right now, I hope Nia Jax wins at SummerSlam.
Hey, my boy shining the light.
Hey, so chat,
do not come after me if I change my mind in 3 months once you break somebody's face. I just want to say that. No, but as of right now.
Well, Jay, to your point, when she did get back, she did injure Rhea and Raquel. That is a fact, her first night. However, you see what happens when bullying is allowed? We bully Nia Jax for years. About her ability to work, her character, and all that. She went away, she came back, and it's like, oh my gosh, we forced you to work on your game. And look at you. What does Nate say all the time? She saved that Raw Women's division for months. If it wasn't for her, yikes. That would have been tough.
To be quite honest, though, I mean,
they would have had to keep Trish Stratus.
I don't think they ever presented her well when Vince was in charge anyway. So I think the fact that Triple H is in charge, she's able to have a breath of fresh air and be presented differently. Because the way Vince was presenting her, like, she'd be serious and then she wasn't serious. Like when she had that feud with Alexa Bliss and she was the one getting picked on, I'm like, this should be the opposite. She should be bullying Alexa Bliss. Why is Alexa Bliss bullying? Why should
I mean, they were bullying. They were basically. They're not gonna say it.
They were bullying her because of her weight. But realistically, though, it's like, bro, come on. Look at Alexa Bliss. Look at Nia Jax. Like, if anybody should be the bully, it should be Nia Jax and Alexa. Because Alexa Bliss was still liked at that time. People still loved her at that time. So that would have been an easy switcheroo right there. It's just they weren't making her feel as credible as she needed to be as like that opposing threat. Now, even though she hadn't done much since she won Queen of the Ring, it's kind of the same with Gunther. They're just buying time until after Money in the Bank, and then we're gonna focus on SummerSlam. Then we're gonna focus on SummerSlam. That's the hardcore agenda right there, 100%. So I feel like everything they've done with Nia Jax is basically they should have just done with her in the beginning, bro. It wasn't that hard. Like, just have her feel credible, but only have her lose to people that have name value. Like Becky Lynch has name value, Rhea Ripley has name value. So those people beating her doesn't really affect her or damage her too much because those are top superstars in that division as well. But when she's going out there and she's losing to people that are less than her, that was one of the main issues about her.
The only thing that scares me when it comes to Nia Jax and this Queen of the Ring, I don't think they're gonna have both of them win. Now,
I think Gunther might lose, honestly, bro.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that. But here's the thing, though. The reason why I brought up
not to the champion, but I think that Money in the Bank will play a factor, though.
Well, the reason why I'm nervous for Nia though is because they just officially, because I don't know if y'all know, Nia and Tiffany are like best friends real life. Like they just started this tag team little partnership thing. And now Tiffany Stratton could easily win that Money in the Bank, and maybe that's why you're doing it.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That could be the thing, right? But let's just say she does it because Chelsea Green is there, and I'm not going to put it past WWE.
Don't put it past Naomi either, bro. Naomi's a sleeper, bro.
No, you're right, but I'm saying I'm not gonna put it past WWE to give the comedy person a big win.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it past them, right? R-Truth just won the tag titles at Mania, so I'm not gonna put it past them.
Yeah.
So if Tiffany don't win this briefcase, and they still decide to do this little team thing, they might step on some toes, aka Jade and Bianca. You know what I mean? And that might cost them. Like,
that's the direction I think they're going. I think Tiffany wins Money in the Bank. Nia becomes champion. They're like besties, but it's like watch your back type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I got that briefcase. You know what I mean? So that's what it's ultimately going to be. That's the direction at least I think they're going in. At least I would hope so, because that would make the most sense right there. Plus, I was one of the people that said it from the rip that the reason I didn't think Tiffany Stratton won Queen of the Ring because she was going to win that Money in the Bank. Like that was just made for her. So.
I agree. Well, since we're talking about it, that men's Money in the Bank, there's one more qualifier, right? Or did everybody already make it?
No, it's Ilya, Sheamus, Drew.
Ilya, Sheamus, and Drew on Monday.
Okay, well, it don't matter which one. I'm gonna say Drew's winning because Punk is gonna cost him, but I don't think anybody in that match is winning the Money in the Bank. So let's actually talk about that,
bro. You know what I said about this?
Who is winning that briefcase?
I still think it's gonna be Jey Uso, but this Money in the Bank will have the most interference you've ever seen in Money in the Bank because CM Punk gonna play a factor. You also got everybody else in the match, like maybe the Wyatts could show up for Chad Gable. You know what I'm saying? Because they got the
Logan Paul and LA Knight.
Logan Paul, LA Knight. Like, there's going to be a lot of interferences in this match, bro.
Well, see, here's the thing. Because I said in a video that I was sold. I was like, you know what? Jey Uso is winning Money in the Bank because I think CM Punk is going to cause Drew. Drew's going to be on the ground and look up and see, of all people, Jey Uso pulling down the briefcase, right? Only thing that makes me hesitate about this, man, I know they're just waiting for that bloodline story to start kicking in. And yeah, you can easily say, well, Jey Uso can still have the briefcase while he's feuding, but it just doesn't. It don't look right to me. Honestly, that visual don't look right to me. Like,
honestly,
I don't know, man.
I think when the way I'm looking at it now, if he wins the Money in the Bank, by the time the bloodline stuff happens, I think he'll be the world champion. I think he'll actually be the world champion, because if he's gonna cash in, I think he'll cash in at SummerSlam, which will prevent Gunther from winning, where Gunther doesn't have to get pinned, and then he can pin Damian Priest, which will be fine, because Damian's got the Judgment Day stuff. Damian's got the Judgment Day stuff to fall in right there. You know what I mean? So the way I'm looking at it, with Jey as the world champion, when Roman tries to go back to him, Jey's now the guy. So he's like, bro, I'm the guy now. I don't need, you know what I'm saying? I don't really need that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to be a part of that. I'm over here succeeding type stuff. That's kind of how I see it, because when you look at timelines of Money in the Bank, I don't see Jey as a walking into WrestleMania world champion. I don't see him cashing in before Mania and like walking in as like, I'm the champion. And I don't see him as an after WrestleMania world champion. I don't think he's going to hold it that long, the briefcase that long. So the way I'm looking,
he's going to cash in quick and lose it relatively quick.
I think he'll hold it probably maybe till after Survivor Series. Like he'll lose it before Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? Like he might have a nice little run.
I think he might lose it at Royal Rumble.
Like he may lose it on an episode of Raw or something like that. You know what I mean? Like he may lose, because they haven't done too many title changes on Raw lately. Like they just did the tag titles, but like the big titles. You know, like the last time. When was the last time we had a world champion win on Raw? I can't even remember. It's been a minute. So.
Was it the Miz? Well, I think it was the Miz's cash in, wasn't it? Or was it
Big East?
Big E. That was 3 years ago.
So I hear what you're saying, right? And when I contest you, I'm not disagreeing with you.
But no, I mean, before you answer, look at it like this. Look at the playing field of Money in the Bank. Assuming Drew's going to be in it, right? So let's say Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, you got LA Knight, you have Chad Gable, you have Carmelo Hayes, and then there's one more person, and then you have one more person.
No, not Logan.
Is
it Braun Strowman? Which one?
No. They lost to Chad Gable. You got Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso.
Who is it?
Hold on. Going brain dead. I can't think of it.
Hold on. Give me a second.
Andrade. And then Andrade.
Right. Yeah.
Well, shout out Andrade though. Shout out Andrade.
No, so you have those guys in it. So realistically, when you look at that playing field, who's really going to win it? Because you know Andrade's not going to win. Nope. Carmelo Hayes, don't really see that happening too soon. He still isn't credible on the main roster yet. LA Knight is falling into the Logan Paul feud, so we don't really see that happening. Chad Gable, he couldn't even win the IC title, so I definitely don't see him winning Money in the Bank. Realistically,
also, he's got the story to fall into. So the
only two logical options are Jey Uso or Drew McIntyre. Those are the really legitimately
Jey's
options.
on the poster, so that breaks the tie.
And I don't see Drew winning it possibly because CM Punk is right there as well.
Wait. I don't
need to wait. Punk's gonna fuck him.
Because here's my thing.
Fuck him good.
I don't know.
Hey, all right. No diddy.
Pause.
Just wanted to get a reaction.
Okay, so
more than Karen Cross.
Hey, are y'all? Yeah, facts. Oh my God. Are y'all willing to hear me out? I
don't know, bro. I got this sign ready, bro.
Hey, but it's not even crazy. I'm not even going off the wall. This is just, I feel like something that could genuinely happen. Let's just say CM Punk is not cleared by the time we get to August. We know they're trying to bring Bad Blood back. We know that's what they're trying to do. You know, Hell in a Cell to main event. I believe that should be Punk and Drew. Whether they have the match at SummerSlam or not, I believe Punk and Drew should be that Hell in a Cell, because let's be real, who else is going to do it, right? So, if you really want to stretch that out, especially if CM Punk is not cleared by the time we get to August, Drew could win the briefcase, and CM Punk could cost him the cash in. If they really would, like, this would be the third, like, I'm saying, like, just bluntly stated, this would be the third time CM Punk in a calendar year has cost Drew McIntyre a champion.
Okay,
no sign.
That would make sense.
Sign, but
I don't think
that would make sense for the storyline wise, but realistically, does it really need that at this
stage? Of course it doesn't need it. I'm just only reason I'm saying that because I actually want Jey Uso to win Money in the Bank so he can be the main event Jey Uso. My biggest thing is you guys keep calling him that, but he never wins the big one. So I want him to win the big one. I just don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger. I dead don't know. I don't know if Triple H.
The way I'm looking at it, looking at the playing field of everybody who's in this match. If Jey Uso don't win, he's cooked, bro. He's the only guy in this match that makes sense to win.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Not the only that makes sense, but he's the guy that should win.
You're right, but you're looking at the playing field of everybody in the match. I'm looking at the world title scene, the playing field of what's going to happen the next couple of months. Because I agree with you. I don't think he's holding it past.
That's why I said cash in at SummerSlam, yeah. Get it out the way. Just go ahead and get it. Because, realistically, like you said, Gunther, even if Gunther loses, we know that Gunther's at a stage where we know Triple H is not going to destroy him or not do nothing with him. So even if Gunther loses, there's still going to be big plans for him. And the Royal Rumble's right there. He could easily win that and go on to WrestleMania and win the world title there. Which honestly, I think I'd much rather prefer that. I would be okay with that because the last 2 years he was in the final 2 or the final 3 of the Rumble. So he's already proven that he's come that close to winning it, but couldn't really get it. So, and if he cashes in Money in the Bank, Gunther doesn't get pinned, it still protects him like you didn't beat me type stuff. And then there's other things you can move on without him because we haven't really seen him do too much on the main roster without a title involved. We know he's going to be the world champion eventually, but he hasn't had feuds unless he's holding that championship.
That's why I agree with you. That's why I don't think Gunther is winning this match because you're going to go straight from the IC to the world title. And then eventually, like, you've been presented as this unstoppable force. You got to be really careful with who beats you. Yeah, like pins you got to be really careful about that. And if it's not, like Punk said, it just because you can obviously build anybody up.
Yeah,
but if it's not Seth Rollins, if it's not Punk, and even then I'm like, or Cody beating Gunther right now as we speak, it's almost gonna feel like like that's why I say you got to be careful because I don't think you're gonna bury Gunther. Gunther, I think is set for life now. But, like, if you just have, like, for example, if you just have, like, even Jey Uso without the Money in the Bank, if he just beats Gunther clean, I'm going to look at that and be like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Like, you're taking me out of that belief.
I look at it like Gunther.
You got to be really careful.
Gunther can really thrive still because there's people still he could feud with at the championship. Him and Ilya is right there. Him and Seth Rollins is right there. There's people he could still feud with on Raw without a title involved. That doesn't really need to play the factor. So I feel like if Jay's going to win, it has to be sooner than later because he could be champ if he wins at SummerSlam, he could be champ at least on Survivor Series. Like, at least on Survivor Series. He could have a nice little run there, have nice little feuds, people he could feud with. Then when the Bloodline stuff, if they even wanted to add to the feud with the Bloodline costing the world title, at least by then, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? So there's different aspects they could do with that because I'm looking at the playing field. I'm looking at, like, there's nobody else I can believe winning this besides Drew and Jay. And if I had to pick between the two, Jay needs it more than Drew McIntyre.
Let me jump in the middle. Go ahead. Hold on. Let me jump in the middle here because we got to start. If we're all assuming that the Usos are going to be at War Games, right? We got to start tractor beaming Jey Uso towards the Bloodline stuff, right? So, I mean, if we're talking about the Bloodline maybe costing Uso the title down the road, who's to say Uso doesn't get all the way to the top of that ladder and then boom, here come the Tongans and by orders of Solo, Jay can't succeed. He's not a member of the Bloodline. And then Drew wins. And then Drew cashes in and wins the title. And then you have a 3-match program with Drew and CM Punk. Punk eventually wins the title, takes the title to WrestleMania, gets that fucking main event that he's been bitching about for the past 20 years. And then CM Punk goes into WrestleMania as the champion. I mean, I can see CM Punk and Drew having a world title program after Drew cashes in. And then Jay has been tractor beamed into the Bloodline stuff. And then that's going on. And then you got the separate title feud going on over here. So just, as G would say, devil's advocate, I just want to point out that I think it's beyond realistic that Jay could walk out of here without it because the Tongans could push him off that ladder.
And honestly, even though I think to piggyback off of that, even though I do think you run the risk if Jey Uso does not win this briefcase, you do run the risk of, maybe losing steam and all that. However, I know we talked about Triple H where he messing up, but to his credit, Cody Rhodes was still over as I don't know what after he lost. LA Knight was still over after he didn't win Money in the Bank, right? And they fed him to Roman. So you can, like, if there's a world where you can stretch Jey Uso winning that first world title till after this bloodline stuff, I think I would much rather prefer that, because to Jade's point, you are going to have to start ringing him in. Now, Jimmy Uso cost Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes the tag titles out of nowhere when, like, ain't nobody was really thinking about you, right? So you can get away with it again with, Solo just feels the same way. Like, maybe they had an interaction backstage and he's like, nah, I don't like that. Because they're going to be in the same building. They have a match on the same card. So you can get away. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Jey Uso warming up and Solo and the boys just walk right past him. Like, to add more intrigue to that ladder. I'm not saying that should happen, but I'm saying in me, just looking at the way they've set up their future in the world title scene and, everything going on, if there's a world where you can get away with Jey Uso not getting his first world title win until after you finish his bloodline stuff, like the reunion and everything, I think I would prefer that. Now, if you don't, and he does win, I'm with you. Have him win the title now, get it out the way. He's main event Jey Uso now, and then get to the bloodline. I'm with you on that. But
I feel like they stretching it out way too far at that point, bro. Yeah, this man been hot for a year, bro. Like, he been hot for a full year. I don't think his steam will die down if he loses Money in the Bank, but he not main event Jey Uso, bro, if you don't win Money in the Bank, bro. There's no way you can defend it at that point. Like, LA Knight, yeah, and Cody Rhodes, yeah, but those guys weren't. You already knew what the agenda was with Cody Rhodes. He was going to be established as the guy, so we already knew that. LA Knight, we always knew too, especially when Logan Paul won the championship. I think we all saw eventually he was going to be the guy to beat Logan for that title. So these guys were in positions where you at least saw something down the road for them, bro. I don't see no world title for Jey Uso if you're not winning Money in the Bank, bro, at all. It's either now or it's not happening to me. Like, that's how I'm looking at this point.
And I don't know if it was Malik or G Baby. I think it was you, Malik. It was like Jey Uso reaches out. Like, when Roman reaches out, Jay's like, I don't need you. Like, I'm that guy now. Like, I feel like Jey losing that title is going to, like, due to the bloodline, is going to be like, ah, shit. I need his help. Like, we need each other. And I got to go back to stop this, because, like, he realizes I'm not going to be able to accomplish anything if this bloodline's around, because they just do whatever they want. Like, I gotta come back, and plus then he's going to want his revenge. Like, that's going to pull him in. He's like, he can even tell him, like, I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for me, because they just cost me my only world title. So cool, sure, I'll do it with you, fine. But this for me was anything past that, if you don't get this, bro, it's
the way I look at it, easily storytelling is, you have Jey win Money in the Bank, have him cash in at SummerSlam, win the world title. Gunther can win the Royal Rumble down the road and become champ at WrestleMania, because Jey won't be champion by then. When Roman comes back by then, he goes to Raw, try to recruit Jey, but Jey's the world champion, so he doesn't really need to be involved with Roman stuff right now, the bloodline, because they're not really involved in his business, and he's thriving on his own now as the world champion. I'm him right now, Oos. I'm doing my thing now. If the bloodline cost Jey the world title, now he has a reason now. Okay, now y'all cost me the world title. All right, Roman. Like when Jey and Jimmy got with Roman, they had a reason to do it, because they understood the vision. Okay, I see where you're trying to go, Roman. We're trying to elevate up here. Let's do it. If Jey now get cost the world title, now he has a reason to not only go back into the bloodline, but he has a reason to also be a part of the story that makes sense, because they're the reason he lost the world championship to whoever. It could be Seth Drew, whoever they wanted to have him lose to. It don't even matter.
So in order for that to happen, basically, you're saying the bloodline need to cause Jey the world title, basically pull like a Pearl Harbor or Oedipus Rex. The path you choose to avoid your destiny is the path you choose to take it. Like, because they can be like, oh, well, let's cost Jey the title so that way we can ensure that he doesn't help Roman win. In reality, y'all doing that is the reason it's going to make him come back.
All right, I look at it as Solo, because Jey has a world title and he doesn't. Oh, Jey's getting too powerful. Jay's not looking to become bigger than us. We can't have that.
Or maybe he tries to talk Jay to come into his bloodline, and Jay's like, nah.
Yeah, and Jay's like, no, I don't want it. No,
I don't.
No.
I'm cool. Yeah. I'm cool on that, bro. I'm cool on that. I'm saying I'm doing my thing over here. And so I was like, bro, what you think you better than me? Like you don't.
What you mean no?
Yeah, like you're too. Hey, like he said to Paul Heyman, you're too good for us. Yeah. You're too good.
Right.
We're not good enough. We're not good enough.
That honestly, the way I'm looking at it now, I really hope that happens. The way that unfolds, like that would make the most sense right there. Because
it would.
If Jay won the Money in the Bank, he cashed in at SummerSlam the same night Roman comes back too, bro. Come on, man. Like that would be like that. That's just storytelling right there to itself. And then when Roman goes back to Jay's like, nah, I'm the world champ, bro. Like I'm doing me now, bro. I don't need you. I don't need that. I don't need that drama. I'm cool on that. And then they cost him the world title. Now he's like, all right, Roman. We may have our issues, but we can handle business.
I know we got this J business, we got the screw business. I don't want to sound like I'm in G's camp, but LA Knight straight up said it on SmackDown 2 weeks ago. He said if Logan Paul won't face me in a match, I might win that Money in the Bank, and I might make Logan Paul have a match with me. That's what the boys said. That's
we're not.
LA Knight said.
Hey, look.
I'm not even
because y'all didn't like when I brought it up.
I'm not even going to intrigue this conversation because
we're not.
Number
one,
we're not
doing it, bro.
But hold on, listen. It's not like this time. It's me or it's G making up the scenario. LA Knight said it. He said it on TV, and that's what Reigns said in the first interview.
Roman Reigns said Solo was next tribal chief, and people still calling bullshit on that too. So we don't.
Well, he is the next tribal chief. It's just not right now.
I just wanted to throw that out. I just wanted to put that out in the atmosphere.
I love it when Jade is on.
That's no, brother. I'm not entertaining.
That's way too much. That's way too much, bro.
Number one.
I didn't make it up.
That's the stupidest thing they could do. Number one, by far the dumbest thing.
LA Knight wins Money in the Bank and then cashes in. When let's be real. Even though I rock with the dude, Damian Priest is literally right there. If you can't cash in on Damian Priest,
not even that, but he already just pinned Logan Paul. Logan Paul is going to
so he has a match, bro.
Logan Paul,
fair enough.
He just pinned Logan Paul on SmackDown. Logan Paul, obviously, costing him the Money in the Bank would make sense now because you just pinned him. That's literally a layup right there.
Wait, hold up. Another thing. What if LA Knight does win Money in the Bank and he just pulls a Miz? He's the U.S. champion while holding the briefcase. Why not?
That would be a little bit different, but it worked. Well, it worked. It worked.
We haven't seen that since.
It's a year too late.
We ain't seen that since Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins didn't hold a title when he was Mr. Money in the Bank, bro. This is a year too late.
He didn't win the U.S. title or the IC title. He didn't win that.
No. He won the U.S. He won the U.S. title when he was WWE champion.
Miz was the only one to do it, bro.
RVD did the IC title too.
No, there's only two people that ever hold Money in the Bank in a championship, and that was RVD and the Miz, bro. That was RVD and Miz.
We don't. No, bro.
They don't need to do that, bro. LA Knight don't need.
Miz had the tag titles, the U.S. title, and the Money in the Bank.
He had 3 titles at one point. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, and a Money in the Bank briefcase. That's crazy. Well, I don't know if he had the Money in the Bank at that time, but he had 3 titles.
But they don't need to entertain that conversation. They don't need to do that, bro.
I'm just saying what was said in front of my eyeballs.
Yeah,
that's all I'm doing.
Yeah,
I love it when Jade, you see the vision now, gang.
Well, y'all already.
If Triple H do that, that's a very Tony Khan-ish thing, bro. That's what
he's a fraud.
Tony.
At that point, he's a fraud, bro.
If he did that, bro, no, Vince is back, bro. I don't care what nobody says.
Vince is back.
Vince is back, bro. If he does that,
if Vince was back. Logan Paul would win the Money in the Bank briefcase. That's what he wanted the last time.
No, he's gonna drop the U.S. title and win the world title. That's what Vince sees. That's the world champion right there. That's our future world champion right there. So.
You already know the vibes. You know the vibes if that happens, bro. You already know the vibes, bro. Yeah, bro. We hate Triple H, bro.
What is the thing about Josh Peck or whatever say he just hates Triple H? Like, where did that?
I think it was in a movie. It was a movie or something. I think.
I think it's a YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a YouTube video. Somebody was talking about Triple H. I think he was talking about his reign of terror, or some shit like that.
I want to backtrack though. I want to dive back into the Wyatt stuff. Who were the people on here? I don't remember who it was. Who were the people that came on here and said they didn't care about the Wyatt stuff before it happened? Before we saw the debut, talking about the QR code.
That
wasn't me. Was it me?
It was one of the guests we had on here said he would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it Justin? Was it Justin?
No, it was the other guy.
Okay.
There was somebody that came on here was like, man, this taking too long. I don't care about the debut and stuff like that.
Because the question that you put to the table was, what star do you not care about, or what star do you not like? And he said, I'm already sick of the Wyatt 6 or something like that.
Okay. So that's what it was. So the backtrack, right? Now we obviously knew this was happening, whatever. And we saw that debut, right? And we saw that debut, like, oh God.
Top 5 debut of all time.
I don't know what's happening here, but this already has piqued my interest. There's a lot of good and bad things they can do with this, though, because there's one things about factions like this that you have to do it correctly, though. You know what I mean? Especially with the character work. Like, they could easily mess this up, like it did the Fiend, or they could easily make this right. And they've already done the last 2 weeks has already been great. They did the debut. That was like, oh, wait a minute now. This is something different right here. They're doing murders and all types of stuff. Then they did that Bo Dallas interview with Uncle Howdy.
Genius.
Beautiful stuff right there. Eventually, they're gonna have to go into these feuds, right? They're gonna have to go into these feuds with people. Now, eventually, they're not gonna win all the time, right? They're gonna have to lose to people at some point. That's okay. But how do y'all think they have to do this correctly? At least for the minimum of a year, I would say, at least.
Well,
because the minimum of a year, because realistically, we've seen not when Triple H was in charge, but we've seen when Bray Wyatt, they had these cool characters, bro. They had it right in the palm of their hand, and then they messed it all up.
Well, I think it's simple. No titles. That's all they have to do. No titles, no title feuds. Don't put them in a match to where they can be a number 1 contender. Or just literally
don't treat them. Yeah, I think
the easiest way to say it, and this is going to throw some people off, but the easiest way to say it, don't treat them like wrestlers. I mean,
I was just about to say that. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know it's okay. So we're on the same page. So you can jump
crazy
on me if I say anything you don't say. Don't treat them like wrestlers. I know it's professional wrestling, and I get it, but you got the move to Netflix coming, so you can slow burn this. Like I said, every week for the next 5 weeks, do little intro videos to every member of the group. That buys you over a month, right? And then when they finally do have a match, you got 2 local jobbers out there in the ring, and then fucking Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis come out in their costumes and don't even have the match. Those fuckers from Indiana run away. They don't want anything to do with this. They run away, and Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis are winners by default. The next week, you have another jobber match with Eric Rowan, who comes out in his mask and his hammer. The guy runs at him screaming. Rowan boots him and pins him. That is all you have to do, and you do that for a while. And then as this is going on, you have little things happening throughout the show where the Wyatt 6 are indirectly affecting all of these other rivalries. Like, oh, we can do this, but we got to look out for the Wyatt 6. Or, oh, yeah, we got to do this, but Uncle Howdy might be right around the corner. They don't have to be directly involved with any one person or any one group for a long time. You've got 2 to 3 months of slow build where you build up how much of a threat they are, and then you can start introducing them. But like G said, don't put titles on them. Like Nate can expound upon, don't treat them like wrestlers. Just treat them like threats. That's all you have to do.
They honestly could do what how they presented Kane when he first came. I don't know for people who are old school don't remember the OG Kane, but when Kane first came around, for about the first couple of months, all he did was come out and just beat people up for no reason, bro. He came out, destroyed people, set people on fire, and then Paul Bearer would cut a promo talking about how he's going to destroy the Undertaker, and then Kane would just look at the camera all creepy, and then he left, and then you were like, what the fuck is this? This guy's insane. So I like the aspect where you said don't treat them like wrestlers. Just treat them like spooky, unpredictable, unreliable individuals that you don't really know about. Like, not really knowing who these people really, really are, but they have them have concepts. Like, I like the idea that I think Jay said, have them sit down interviews backstage where they all explain their reasons, where their character or Uncle Howdy's interviewing these real people, or they can have each character interview each other and they could talk like, what are you here for, or whatever they want to say, because a lot of the stuff that
like an AA style, but all with Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, like
I love. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. All of them, like Nikki Cross, like everybody, because I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but like, bro, when Alexa Bliss debuts, Nikki Cross should attack her immediately. When Alexa Bliss comes back, SummerSlam or whatever, Nikki Cross should attack her immediately. Stay away from Charlotte. Stay away from Charlotte, please. I don't want to see Charlotte try to act. I don't want to see that. So stay away from Charlotte because you got beef for her too. But soon as Alexa Bliss come back, attack her. I'm not gonna lie. DIY win them titles. Go ahead, Dexter Lumis. Go ahead, Dexter Lumis. Joe Casey, you can find somebody random. It don't matter, but
And I will say this because you talk about what we see in the past. I think in the past it's also WWE wasn't treated as cinema. Triple H came out and said, "We're not a sport. We're a show about a sport." And now we have more cinematic elements to our program. So I think we're in a lot better hands just by the way the show is run. Because I know a lot of people complain that it's like, oh, it's a TV show now. It's not wrestling. Go fuck yourself. Like it's professional wrestling. It's anything but professional wrestling. If you've been watching, as long as we've all been watching, like literally Undertaker and Kane. You'll sit here and glaze Undertaker and Kane, but you'll shit on WWE being more cinematic, whatever. But that's like Jade said, don't treat them like wrestlers. Like have them, this is a show about a sport. So that your sport is being infiltrated by serial killers, essentially. So how do you deal with that? That's pretty much all you have to think about. How do we deal with this supernatural, not even really supernatural, they're just crazy at this point because they're really they're keeping them a little bit more tame. So how do we deal with this as wrestlers? You know,
I would like to see them have them.
I think that will work.
Them old school promos like how they did with like Undertaker. I don't know if you guys ever, for the people, like I said, the younger audience watching, go back on YouTube and look at the old promos with Paul Bearer and Undertaker where they're like in some type of shack and Undertaker's like making a coffin or something, and you know Paul Bearer's cutting these weird promos, or kind of like, or the Wyatts, like when they were back in the forest and Bray Wyatt's cutting these promos in that house sitting on that rocking chair. Like they need to have stuff like that, but like make it their own entity. You know what I mean? Like
because people forget that the origin of the Wyatts, they weren't supernatural at all. There was nothing supernatural about the Wyatts. I think people are starting to tie in we lost you, baby. They're starting to tie in everything that happened with the Fiend and with the Funhouse back to the original Wyatts. And there was nothing there was nothing. And Bray Wyatt would go out there and he'd say crazy things and he'd say that, oh, I've got this voice in my head, but there was never any evidence of that. It wasn't really until we did the change with the Fiend that there was anything supernatural. And listen, I see a lot of people that are saying, oh, there's smoke everywhere. Yeah. You know what happens when you destroy electrical equipment? Smoke. that was not supernatural. Oh, we're coming through the fog. That was, this room is full of smoke because they just destroyed all of this electrical equipment. So all these people that are saying like, oh, it's already too spooky. No, you just have no faith in it.
But even I don't understand what's wrong with like the spooky stuff though. Like you always have characters like that. That Undertaker was
nothing wrong with it. But I
watched him like he was. Yeah. No, I'm not talking about you, but like characters like Undertaker. You know what I'm saying? Even like Boogeyman, like those characters were spooky. They're supposed to be spooky characters. You know what I mean? Like they're supposed to be weird type natural characters. I never looked at the Wyatts like that. I think like I don't know if you guys remember the promo they first. There was like that camera guy going around to the Wyatt house and trying to find Bray Wyatt, and it was like you had Eric going out there chopping wood and stuff like that with like the sheet mask on. And Luke Harper came out like, "What are you here looking for?"
I remember that.
The first thing I thought of when I first saw that vignette was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm like, this is the one house that you see that you don't want to go to because it just that's the house that you get killed in. That's the house that you don't want to mess with. That's exactly what reminded me of. Texas Chainsaw Massacre had the house in the middle of nowhere that everybody somehow would find, but you don't want to go to that house because you go to that house, you ain't coming back alive. So that's what reminded me of the Wyatt house. It was dirty, it was gross looking, and you have people all around just, you know, just kind of doing their own thing, but it's like that's the one house you don't want to go to because you never know what's going to happen in the house, and there's weird people that live there. That's what I kind of feel like they got to do with the Wyatt Six stuff. They got to just make them their own entity. Like they obviously have a reason of doing what they're doing because Bray has now passed away, God rest that man's soul. So you know he's now gone. They're obviously doing what Bray's vision was, and they're making it come to life now. The whole spooky aspect, though, I don't think there's necessarily a thing wrong with that, though. Like I don't think it's. Like I said, we're moving into I guess a more cinema aspect of WWE now, and these characters aren't aren't supposed to be realistic either. They're supposed to be fictional characters.
You know what I think it is? I think people have PTSD. Alexa Bliss making Nia Jax slap Reggie with mind control. I think people have PTSD of what the Judgment Day started out like when Damian Priest and AJ Styles had a match that ended in a no contest because Damian Priest called to the sky and made the lights purple. That's why. That's genuinely.
I don't remember that.
No. I promise you.
What
when
the fuck?
Nate, I promise you, when Edge and AJ Styles were
I don't. It's not saying I don't believe you because I know they wanted Edge to levitate to the ring. Like he said, they wanted him to levitate to the ring for
like Damian Priest
using Judgment Day.
When Damian Priest first joined Judgment Day, he had a match with AJ Styles on Raw, and just in the middle of it, I guess got on a knee. The lights went purple. It cut to commercial break. Came back, nothing.
And
I promise you,
realistically,
that's why I think people are. That's why I think people are over the whole spooky stuff because they have PTSD. Like bluntly stated, the only good spooky thing WWE has done in recent memory was the Firefly Funhouse match, and that came because they had no choice. Bluntly stated, that came because they had no choice. So that's I just
realistically though the only person that really realistically in the history of WWE and maybe the history of wrestling that can really look up to the sky and make things happen is The Undertaker. He was the only guy that really made you believe. Like there was a point when everybody started watching. At one point, you believed he was that guy. Like you believed he was not a human at one point. Like what is it? What is he, bro? Like he's not real. Can't be. Like well, obviously we're watching his kids and he's coming up to the ring and he's surviving burning caskets. You're like, what is happening here, bro? Like what? How are they doing this? You know what I mean? Like he's the only guy because he played that character so well that could shoot lightning from his hands and make the ring collapse. And you're like, oh shit, my God, The Undertaker. And like he's all ultimate. Like anybody else done that, bro? Anybody you go like?
Oh, and he also one thing that I think gets underrated, or maybe not underrated, but doesn't get talked about enough, is The Undertaker's commitment to kayfabe.
Like, no, he gets talked about a lot.
That's why we believed he was that character, bro. Like that's why you believed in him.
No, but I'm saying like. The first time we ever saw Undertaker just doing media runs and interviews and stuff.
That's weird. Like
it was so weird. But it's like every time, like he just did an interview.
Dude has a YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel.
He has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, 6 Feet Under. It's his podcast.
Yeah.
He collab with Maven.
Actually, I knew he
collab with Maven, bro.
Yeah, but my thing was it's kind of like when you look back, like you never really saw unless he was the American Badass. I don't know if he ever did it outside of it. I don't know how many interviews or something he did. I know he had that.
But that's still crazy because.
But Undertaker wasn't doing that stuff because technically Undertaker, that character, shouldn't be doing media interviews and shouldn't be doing press runs and ESPN things to hype up his Mania match. Like, imagine if the Undertaker would have been doing some press run for the Shawn Michaels retirement. like, you know what I mean? Like.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, so
and I'll say,
Tristan, to answer your question, he was a vigilante.
But even your point though, like it's what makes it even crazy is that. Go ahead, Jared. Go ahead.
Sorry. I think we have a sound delay. You finish up, Malik. I'll go after you. I think we have a sound delay.
Yeah, we for sure have a delay.
Yeah, we definitely.
No, I'll let you. She's bugging out, so. Yeah, my connections.
Okay.
It's like the news, bro.
So two things. Number one, I'm already seeing people, and again, this goes back to I can't remember if it was Triple H or who. Somebody said with WWE that this run with the Wyatt Six was going to be less supernatural, so that of course everyone's freaking out over some smoke or whatever. But then B, everyone's freaking out because the Wyatt Six took a picture with a fan at Whataburger, right? But in my opinion, that's still, I don't think it makes like a low amount of sense or whatever, because again, if this is less supernatural, then we are acknowledging that these people are just putting on masks and going out and doing dangerous shit on Raw, right? Now, maybe they are all controlled by Taylor Rotunda, who maybe is like struggling with like mental illness or split personality, which was addressed in the interview. But so I didn't have a problem with that. And then number two, I'm telling everyone on this pod, I'm telling everyone in chat who watches this pod, I am going to be obnoxiously in the corner of Taylor Rotunda and the Wyatt Six. You are going to hate me because I'm going to find little that they do wrong. Here's the reason, and I know I don't talk about this on the pod a lot. Obviously I went through it on TikTok. I lost my brother 3 years ago. He was my younger brother. This necklace that I wear is for him. I wear it every single day. And God, the interview that Taylor Rotunda did, his little interview with Uncle Howdy, and the things that he said, just absolute. I don't know if I have ever resonated with something that a wrestler has said more in my entire life. And so, just so all of you know, because of that, I am fully behind Taylor Rotunda. I am 167% behind the Wyatt Six. I don't care how stupidly they are booked. Until they are gone, I am 100% behind them, because that interview that Taylor Rotunda did was, good God, way too relatable. So I am 100% into it. And I just wanted everyone to be aware of that. If they ever do something stupid and all the other 5 people on this pod are saying how stupid it was, and I'm saying, well, actually, that's why. That's why. Because I'm on board.
No, I feel you, Jade. I do wanted to, as far because you brought up like the fan picture of Whataburger. Technically, when that picture was taken and posted, they hadn't done anything yet. Like nothing crazy. Like technically, you didn't know that's who they were.
Right.
We in kayfabe wise, we just found out that technically Uncle Howdy's is somebody completely different. If we're being technical about it. So if
they all could be.
If y'all so worried about kayfabe, technically they're just random people all on a bus together that y'all know work for WWE.
Yep.
Yeah, and this could be they could be like that in public within once they get to the arena or once they see Uncle Howdy, they could all be under control. Like that could be like they could all, maybe not everyone has a different personality, but it's like once we put on these masks.
Well, one of the questions that was asked was what we need to do to book them real, and I said no titles. But Jay, to your point, after watching that interview, right, Bo Dallas's motivations. Well, we're assuming he's still being called Bo Dallas.
Chat, I appreciate you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. His motivations was like they forgot about me, and me and my brother were supposed to rule the world, and then he was taken from me, and y'all forgot about y'all forgot about us. Eventually, after you've done this for a while, you can use the motivation. Now I'm going to finish what my brother started. I am going to do what my brother always wanted to and couldn't. And obviously, Bray Wyatt has won the title before, but we're talking about like truly run the world, like be like the world champion that we know. Well, first as Bray Wyatt, he should have just won. I don't know why they did it. And then as the Fiend, it was kind of like you shouldn't have been in that position. But then we all know Hell in a Cell. And then he got squashed by Goldberg for no reason.
All of his title wins were here. Shut up now, title wins. That's what they were. That was Vince reaching out to the crowd.
The here nigga damn. That's what it was.
You can't say it. There you go. We got you, Jay.
Yeah, we got you, Jay. That's what it was. So Bo Dallas can then, after a while, be like, there's one more thing left to do. And it can be like a true world title run or universal, whatever championship you want. Like, and that could just be like, we did that for Bray. It ain't got to be long because eventually you do got to lose, but I think any character can lose as long as to the right.
And imagine, and also you could, because it will be a feel-good moment. Like everybody who watched that is going to cry. Like it's going to be such a sentimental moment. You could just have him give up the title. Just say, I just wanted to do that for him. Like I just wanted. And he doesn't have to give it up immediately. He can have like a good 6-month run, something good, and be like, that's it. That's all I wanted. Now, and then you can move on with the character.
He can come back that first night, win the world title. He'll be like, I have the whole world in my hands. Tribute to Bray, and we can end it there. You know what I mean? Like
that'd be sick, bro. Yeah. That'd be sick. One thing I do want to say. Now we're gonna go to a different subject. There's one thing I really want to happen at Money in the Bank. If there's really one thing I really want to happen, I desperately hope Braun Breaker destroys Sami Zayn so badly, bro.
Oh,
and it don't got to be no John Cena, Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam type vibes, but
no, I think it needs to.
No. I don't think it needs to be that. I think Sami Zayn should show offense, but whatever he does, they should make it show that it's not enough. Like Braun's just too much for him. At the end of the day, it's kind of like he's trying everything, and then Sami can sell the facial expressions where he's like, "Man, what I gotta do?" And Braun Breaker's like, "He don't," just to kind of bark and shit. Like,
because he did beat Gunther. He did beat Gunther. So
yeah. And honestly, if there's anybody to the fact that Gunther was so dominant, I'm not saying. Fuck it, I'll say it. Braun Breaker could be a more dominant champion than Gunther, if I'm being honest.
He could.
To an extent of character work. When it comes to character work and intensity, Braun Breaker is more intense. He's more ferocious. He's more violent. I think he should go into this match and he should really show his dominant, his real dominant threat.
Let me get in here because I completely 100% agree with you. You know what? I was thinking about this match earlier. You know what I saw in my head? I saw Sami get his ass kicked for like 10 minutes, and he does this big comeback, and I'm talking fucking exploder into the corner, does the big build into the haluva kick, and then when he turns to fall into the haluva kick, Braun Breaker has already stood back up and is going, and this shit fucking annihilates him. I want him to take the haluva kick right to the grill, pop back up, and then destroy Sami Zayn. That's what I want.
You're advocating for no selling. That's wild.
Yeah, no selling. Braun
Breaker can get away with it.
AEW over here, man.
Away with no selling.
I mean, there are very few guys who can.
To do.
It really is, bro. He can at least kick it out one. Let's just have him kick it out.
Yeah. Oh, wow. No. Okay, kick it out on one is crazy.
No selling.
He beat Gunther. He beat Gunther, bro.
In NXT though, you feel me?
He still beat Gunther. Like this is the most dominant UK.
And before Sami Zayn had beat Gunther, Braun Breaker was the last person to pin him too.
Yeah, so you can get away with that because if it was
Ilya made him tap out. That was before. That was in 2020.
And you can make it. You can get away with it because like if it was anybody else, it'd be like, well, you saying this person is better than Gunther, the man Sami beat, but you could tell that's for Braun, like. Yeah, and that could build up to an eventual Braun Breaker and Gunther match. Like, I kicked out a haluva kick, you didn't. Like,
well, one thing I was gonna say because again, everybody gonna complain regardless, but people gonna be like, "Oh, we're squashing Sami, blah blah blah." This is the guy who beat Gunther. Perfect. There's the
guy who beat Gunther.
No. But here's the thing, though. People don't watch NXT, so you got to think for the casuals, right?
But Michael Cole says it. He said it.
I know, but remember, we're still in a new period of having NXT be continuity, right? We know, but casuals don't. But there is a perfect way to get around that. You know what you do?
No, sir.
Because Sami's the ultimate babyface. He's not going to get rid of this match. Braun Breaker need to attack that man backstage. He need to spear him through anything. Do the same thing you did to Ricochet. Put him through a car. Sami Zayn, we got to cancel this match. Sami Zayn's like, no, I'm not going to cancel it. The white meat baby face. And then we get to that pay-per-view. Spear right out the gate to them injured ribs. Ooh, Jade, I'm with you. Jade. I'm with you.
You know what they could do? I don't know if you guys remember. I'll take y'all back.
Sami Zayn.
I'm gonna take y'all back to Extreme Rules 2010. It was the match between Sheamus and Triple H, where the match was opening the show, and then they showed Sheamus backstage beating up Triple H, and then they had to postpone the match until later. And when Triple H came out, he was already beat up and everything, but Sheamus picked that man apart in that match so badly, bro. And then Triple H went off TV after that for a long time. They could honestly do the same thing where Braun Breaker can beat up Sami Zayn. Sami's not gonna give up. He'll come out, and I'm coming to the ring. You know what I'm saying? All beat up, and then Braun Breaker can just capitalize on that momentum. If they wanted to go that direction, that would still be fine too. But I think they have to have Sami show offense, but do it where it's like he's throwing everything at Braun Breaker. He's throwing everything. The kitchen sink. It ain't enough though. Braun Breaker, he's too much to overcome. And then when Sami Zayn feels that effect of that first spear, that's when you start to. That's when you start to fit. That's when Braun starts to really intense up and then take over.
Hey, so what they low key can do, they can do the Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar, where just out the gate, Braun Breaker is just spear, clothesline, the speed, all that. Sami don't know what hit him because he's a babyface. Sami Zayn gotta fight back. You know what I mean? You gotta get the crowd into it. Sure, every time.
And it's in Canada too. It's in Canada.
Oh, more so every time. Last time Sami Zayn was in Canada, or was it for Elimination Chamber? Or
No,
was
it was to beat Chad Gable. It was to beat Chad Gable.
Oh, I'm talking about a pay-per-view. That's fine.
Yeah, Montreal.
That Raw shit is fine. That Raw shit is fine. But I'm saying, hey, last time he was there, everybody behind him trying to win that world. Bro, they got it, bro. I'm telling you, Braun Breaker, and it doesn't got to be the Monday Raw or whatever to sell the ribs. I think Braun Breaker just needs to come out, spear, and a close kick out at 2, or at like 2.9, and it's like, oh snap, Sami, put him through a table type stuff. Like, really show this man. I'm the new Brock Lesnar.
What will be even dope? To finish it off, they should have Braun break back the other finisher where he gorilla press him and then slam his ass. Like that used to be tough, bro. Yeah. That used to be a tough finisher, bro. Cause he had to switch it up because he can't do it to everybody because everybody could be too big, but he could easily pick up Sami Zayn and then do that gorilla press.
He should do that right before he loads up for the spear. Because I think the spear has to be hit like the end game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If there's anything, looking at Money in the Bank, if there's anything I really want to happen, that's the number one thing I hope that happens. Out of all the matches, I really hope Sami Zayn. And I don't dislike Sami Zayn, but looking at all the guys, I feel like Braun Breaker is the perfect guy to beat him. Chad Gable may have had the better story, but I just never was behind Chad Gable winning the IC title over anybody. Like, I didn't think he was going to beat Gunther. I'm like, I don't think this guy is that guy to beat Gunther.
I think he could have after watching the way that last match played out.
I'm not saying they couldn't have. I just said I didn't want it. That's just not something.
No, I did. I think like Sami Zayn wasn't the worst because I've said multiple times. I thought for Sami Zayn, the story they were telling us on TV about hey, he was in the main event of Mania the year before, ending the longest reigning tag champs with his best friend. Yeah. I think it would have been better if they went from that to missing Mania this year to winning the world title the next year. That's what I think would have been better. And Gable could have got his win, retribution for his family. That was a good story. I just like Gable is a phenomenal wrestler, great technical wrestler. But when it comes to, I guess, character work and looking at the roster, I just feel like him beating Gunther, bro. I don't know if I can get behind that. And then I couldn't get behind Sami doing it. I didn't think Sami I didn't until he did it.
Listen, I'm not saying Sami should have done it either. I'm not saying Sami should have been the guy either. But when Chad Gable could beat Gunther and then Sami Zayn beat Gunther, I'm like, how is he going to beat Sami Zayn when he couldn't even beat Gunther and Sami Zayn just beat Gunther? That to me just didn't make any sense. Like, hey, he going to beat
because he trained him.
Yeah, and he supposedly trained him, but it's like,
but
you trained him to beat Gunther. You couldn't even beat Gunther.
No, but I look at Sami Zayn and Gable beating Gunther. Whoever would have done it is like a one-off. Like, you do this match 10 times out of 10, you're not winning. But you got lucky this night, which is why that's why I was like, you won't give it to anybody. Give it to the guy who's been telling this story for 6 months.
And also, if you to Lewis's point that he made, Gunther lost that match for himself because he was playing with Sami. He got too comfortable, got too confident, got too cocky. Gunther could have ended that match at any time if he actually locked in, but he wasn't fully locked in.
Right.
So that's why he lost that match because he got too cocky.
No, and I think if you want to make the argument that maybe Gable, because he's already fought him before, he wouldn't have got too cocky. Sure, but I still think you could have given that.
Because everybody's maybe he just hasn't shown it for me, but everybody's talking about Gable being Perk Angle. I ain't seen no Perk Gable yet, bro. Like, Perk Angle was different breed.
I think once he gets. I guess I don't see the intensity. Like Kurt Angle had the intensity behind him that made you believe like he was the wrestling machine. But, I don't feel that with Chad Gable.
But it's like a Kurt Angle light because also too Chad Gable. Let's just be blunt. Even if he does get these Creed brothers and they start going crazy, that's a mid-card stable if I've ever seen one. Like I don't see them being because that's the thing too. Kurt Angle came off Olympic gold medal and was in the main event.
And also,
you know what I mean?
No disrespect, and obviously I'm probably the same height as Gable, but Gable's not the biggest guy in the world. So him being intense is great, but it's like Jason Jordan would be more like a Perk Angle because like he's the bigger one. So it is kind of in that aspect it does get kind of because he's obviously strong, but size doesn't always matter, but also I think that's
when you're in the same world, bluntly stated, is like
Braun Breaker.
Seth Rollins, the Braun Breaker, the Gunther,
intensity
the Roman Reigns. If when you're not even 5'10", bluntly stated,
it does hurt a little. So they have to just work extra hard for it.
When you look at the most intense people besides Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle was only able to make it work because the wrestling background that he had, and he had a little bit of the size. When you look at the most intense people, when you look at the most intense people in wrestling, they're all big, buffed up. Batista, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, Braun Breaker. All these guys have muscle, they have build, and they have believability behind them where you can believe they can legitimately destroy people in the ring no matter who they face. You know what I mean? Not saying that's what they're doing with Chad Gable, but when they're obviously trying to compare the Perk Angle statement, like I just don't, he don't have that intensity for me where I can believe like, he's that guy.
I think the reason they, and we can say this before we head off, but I think the reason they're more so comparing him to Perk, I don't think it's necessarily the intensity. I think they're looking at Olympic gold medalist, the background. Chad Gable has the impressive strength, like to where he can German suplex anybody. I think that's more so what they
are. And it's more so for the meme too. It's not,
yeah.
No. It's more so for the meme. But if you go back and you look at them Perk Angle days, bro. That's why I'm saying bro, I don't think the intensity was crazy, bro.
That's why I'm saying I don't think most people are thinking the intensity part when they're comparing it. I think they're just looking at two Olympic.
They just want to.
Chad Gable's not an Olympic gold medalist though.
I mean, not gold medalist, but he's an Olympian. Like I think they see two Olympic wrestlers who are really good in ring, and maybe obviously Kurt Angle is better and better promo character. Like we know Kurt Angle's better. Like it's not an exact copy. It's like it's a Kurt Angle light. And I think right now, especially because you didn't give Chad Gable the IC title win, the way I think most people are feeling like, well, yeah. I mean, they're doing this whole family separated. They just tease with the creed. But Chad Gable's basically going crazy. And he's got this Wyatt 6 they got to deal with. Like, I think you're going to see, maybe not off the perk. Maybe he just, got a little drunk. You know what I mean? We're going to see drunk Gable. He ain't off the perk. He just
Gable off the lean.
Yeah. He off that lean.
Gable on the Molly,
he off the perks. He just on that lean. That's
on the Henny, bro. Gable on the Henny, bro. Gable on the Henny.
That's wild.
Henny Gable is
Henny Gable's crazy.
Henny Gable is fire. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I'm looking at it. I think if there's a perfect guy to beat Sami Zayn, it is Braun Breaker. He is the perfect guy right here. You don't need no story behind it. He don't have it just from a believability standpoint, character standpoint, and somebody that you could help pass that IC title on to help build up even further. I feel like Braun Breaker would do that better than Chad Gable would.
Absolutely.
So,
and the IC title historically is supposed to be the title that propels you eventually next.
Supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, supposed to. I said historically. That's why I said historically. So I think Braun Breaker.
Somebody asked if we do money in the bank. We could do our money in the bank. We could run through our money in the bank predictions real quick. Somebody asked. Let's start with the women's money in the bank. Who do y'all have?
The center of the universe. It's Tiffany.
Yeah, Tiffy.
To be quite honest, bro, between Tiffany, Naomi, and Chelsea, I wouldn't be mad at any of those options. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I wouldn't be mad either.
I wouldn't be mad, but it needs to be Tiffany.
Tiffany would be cool.
Naomi doesn't need it, and Chelsea Green, God forbid, Chelsea Green would have been fine if Tiffany Stratton wasn't in this match, or you gave Tiffany Stratton Queen of the Ring. If that's the case, I'd be pushing Chelsea because I think right now she's playing a Karen type character. Well, she actually really liked that in the ring when they give her time.
No, she really is. She
actually really liked that. So she's just playing a character right now.
I'm gonna say Tiffany Stratton for me. What about men's money in the bank?
Jey Uso.
I'm gonna say Jey Uso for now.
I gotta say Jey.
I'm gonna say Jey, but I just put it like this. I'm not gonna be shocked if he doesn't win it. I'm not gonna be shocked.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either, bro. If I see another Samoan or Tongan in that match, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
What about Braun and Sami?
It's got to be Braun, but I think they're going to give Braun. I think they're going to give Braun the SummerSlam win because you know how they were like interfering, DQs and all that stuff. Some shenanigans might happen here, and they'll give him the SummerSlam. Because I thought we were going towards a Fatal 4-Way. I thought that's what we were going to do. So
they're going to do that with Braun as champion. Braun as champ. That's what they're going to do.
Could have made it a Fatal 5 with Ilya, but whatever. Anyway.
Could have made it a 6-pack challenge with Dijak, but hey.
All right, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I just asked for opportunity, not talking about it.
Okay.
I think they're gonna give it to Braun Breaker. I think
Carmelo a sleeper?
No.
Low key, like you could give him it in a year. You have a year to build him up, but no. If you really wanted to lock in, like this would be perfect. But I don't see them actually.
Melo wanting money in the bank. We talked about landscapes, right? We were talking about Raw, like Jey Uso was landscape, bro. Landscape on SmackDown. He gonna be Cody. He gonna be Randy.
You could tell that story a year later. He cashes in on Cody year after getting drafted. You could tell that story. That's all I'm saying. If you build him up properly. And I was
gonna say as far as
and not even that, Melo gonna feud with the bloodline.
No, it's not. But listen though, he's a heel, so no, it's fine. But look, here's the thing though, when you have,
I'm saying hypothetically, what if Solo were to be champions at some point? You know what I'm saying? Like
but I'm saying though, if you give Melo that briefcase, if we talk about building him up, him walking around with that briefcase, bragging, you can build as long as he wins feuds. You can build that up to where he can get a sneaky win against, I don't know, Cody when he's not paying attention.
Yeah, and also, who says it has to be Cody? It could be Punk. It could be Seth. It could be whoever's champion on Raw. As long as it's not Gunther. If it's Gunther, it's GG. It's not going to be him.
I don't think it's Cody either, bro. Cody going to.
And it's also if you want to just establish like this NXT class. Like, because he is a first-round draft pick from NXT. So if you really wanted to establish that, I mean, if they really wanted to lock in on Melo, bro, they really could. Like, I don't think they should. I think they should. I think he should get the U.S. title first. But if they
I don't think there's
what I'm saying. You have a year to cash in. Look how long it took. Damian Priest just won and it felt like it was forever ago since he won that title. I mean, since he won that briefcase. You could do the same thing with Melo. Just have him feud with people. Obviously, he can be a smart heel where it's like, I didn't cash in sooner because Cody was dealing with the bloodline and stuff. I didn't want to be in that.
I don't want that. I don't want none of that.
That's just being smart. I don't want to deal with that. I'll wait.
No. I mean, those are a good point. I don't think there's any chance Melo wins, bro. There's no chance he wins. I don't
No. I'm not saying he should. He should. Yeah, but I'm saying
he's there to do the high spots, take spots.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, but I'm saying if they really wanted to lock in, like you really could. Like it's.
What about the 6-man tag? What do you guys got on that one?
Bloodline.
Yeah, because I don't think Solo's winning the title, so it's got to be the bloodline, right?
I think.
He's pinning Cody.
This is my prediction. I think.
That's what Kevin was.
This is my. Nope. I think Solo pins Cody in the match.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he gets his revenge from. He gets his revenge.
But not it won't be clean, but I think it'll be like Jacob does something or like the bloodline does something where they capitalize because he pins Cody, instant title shot, bro. There's no instant title shot right there.
I mean, I hear you, and I'm not against it.
That really establishes it more like, whoa, he just pinned Cody Rhodes, bro. Like,
well, look, my thing is, and I'm really not trying to be nitpicky, but I don't want to see this man get pinned again, bro. I don't like that. I don't like seeing your champions. I mean, I know you can protect him.
He hasn't been pinned since what? Drew McIntyre?
Yeah,
that's before.
The Rock.
That's before he won the championship.
Yeah,
he hasn't been pinned since he's been champion. Since he's been champion, he hasn't been pinned.
I mean, I'm not gonna violate, bro, but I just don't want to. It's whatever.
If Cody were to get pinned,
thing in the world. It's not the
if Cody were to get pinned by Solo, it would make sense for the storyline because then Solo instantly. He can't deny him a title shot at that point. He gets a title shot at that point. He just pinned the champion. That sets up SummerSlam right there. I mean, to me, that's just how they have to do it. I think Solo has to pin Cody in this match. I think there's no other way. Like he pins Cody, he pins KO, he pins Randy. Cool, but
I just feel like that's what Kevin Owens is there for. Like that's what he does now. He just takes the pin. That's what I feel like he's there for. So
I think Cody has to take the pin here because it won't really affect him at all because he's not. So like I said, Solo not going to title SummerSlam anyway. So I mean, it's not really going to affect him. But to really establish him, especially if they want people to take Solo seriously, like he's that leader, they need to treat him as the tribal chief.
But are y'all actually going to take him serious if he gets this pin? Because if we just say, "Oh, well, Jacob interfered," you're protecting.
Yeah, that's how Roman Reigns won all those years. They need to do it the same way. Roman Reigns.
It don't matter what. I'm looking at more of a how you get to SummerSlam. I'm never going to take Solo serious in this role, bro.
This is all about storytelling, bro. This is all about storytelling. He's already acting like Roman. He thinks he's Roman Reigns. He's still in his catchphrases.
I think he's him.
He has his enforcer. He has his right hand man. Everything that Roman did for the last 2 years of the bloodline, he won because of the interferences and everything. That's all they need to do with this match. Treat it like the same bloodline. Solo learned from the OG, bro. This is how we gonna do it. I'm in charge now. Y'all need to make sure y'all protect me to get these big wins. That's all they have to do. That's exactly how they're gonna do it. I feel like that's like whether Jacob does something or the bloodline does something in the match where they hit low blow Cody or something, or that aspect, whatever they wanted to do at that point. Like the exact same way they had Roman Reigns win the last year and a half of his championship reign, just do the exact same thing in this match. That's the only way he needs to win. Because if he beats Cody clean straight up, I'm gonna be like, all right, that's kind of a little crazy there. But if he does it because the bloodline shenanigans interfere, then it's like deja vu all over again for Cody. He's like, oh man, now we're back at this stuff again. Like now we got to deal with this version of the bloodline. They're a little bit more unpredictable though than the other bloodline, so they could be a little bit more dangerous. So that's how I feel like they have to do it if they really want to establish. Maybe people won't have to take him serious, but if the bloodline were to help Solo win, then you would know the vision. Like, okay, he's the guy now. Like they look at him as they acknowledge him, no pun intended, as that guy. Even though they already said it, but it's like actions speak louder than words. You know what I mean? So it's like they have to. When all these people acknowledge Roman, they had to prove themselves. Like, show me you acknowledge me. When it's time to step up, can you step up? When it's time to really make sure you can be there, are you going to be there? That's what I feel like they're going to do with this, at least for Money in the Bank. Now, after SummerSlam comes, I don't think he'll win the championship at SummerSlam, but I feel like that's the direction they're going. Because Kevin Owens getting pinned, Randy Orton getting pinned. Like, if Solo were to pin them, would it really have that much effect instead of him pinning Cody? That's how I'm looking at it.
Well, Cody's it's fine. Yeah,
we got another match.
Especially Kevin Owens, bro. It's like, bro, he loses to everybody, bro. So it's like, it's not really. They already done beat him. I mean, so it doesn't really do much. Seth Rollins and Damian Priest, man, it's gonna be a little interesting. Especially with that stipulation.
Really? Oh, really?
To me, yeah. I think the stipulation adds a lot to it. If Damian loses, he has the Judgment Day, especially when he dropped that line, like they need more than I need them type stuff. So
yeah, once he dropped that line, I said Seth, and I feel like Finn's gonna cost him and be like, now get out.
Well,
because I'm looking at it like this too.
I would have been with you if Finn would have been in Money in the Bank. But now that he's not and he's the tag champs, I think Damian Priest is like, I think they're gonna remember that line, but I think Damian Priest is winning because I don't think the split is happening till Rhea gets back.
I'm looking at it like this too, though. Like, if Seth loses, who's he face at SummerSlam? Like, what direction do we go with him?
I mean, bluntly stated, this is how I feel because you're not the first person to pose that question. Bluntly stated, we didn't think Seth was coming back. I know I didn't. There's a whole video about me saying he's not coming back for a year, and then he showed up next night. So, bluntly stated, yeah, I'm glad he's back. Shout out him. I'm glad. I know your back is still messed up. Maybe your knee recovered. There's no way your back is healthy. However, bluntly stated, we were thinking about these SummerSlam plans without Seth Rollins. I don't think we need to change them and be desperate to get him on the card now. Like I don't want. This sounds really bad to say, but SummerSlam does not need Seth Rollins right now.
It doesn't. You're not wrong.
That's why I'm saying that to say like Seth Rollins can lose here, and it's perfectly fine. And if we really want to spice this thing up, it's not like he still don't got beef with Punk. It's not like he still don't got beef with the dude. Like you can add him to that. If you want to extend this as much as you can add him to that. And like bluntly stated, Seth Rollins, I think once he said that line, Damian Priest, that gave me the assumption that he's for sure winning. And Finn Balor not being in Money in the Bank. If Finn Balor would have been in Money in the Bank, he'd be my winner, and that's how Damian Priest loses. That would have been like for sure. But now that he's not, and he's the tag champion, because that line that he said where he's like, they need me more than I need them. Well, they just won some gold without your help. With Liv's help. Rhea's going to be coming back soon. You can do I think it's going to be Dom, Damian, and Rhea. I think Finn Balor was the last person to join them. I think he was. Oh, no. It was Dom, but we know Dom's little Rhea.
JD.
Yeah, JD. I'm sorry. Well, JD's Finn's boy. And then obviously Dom. So I think it's gonna be Dom, Damian, and Rhea versus Liv, Finn, and JD in like a little 6-man. Obviously, you're gonna get the Rhea Liv match. You're gonna get the Damian and Finn blow off match as well. And so I don't think Damian Priest is losing until basically Liv and Finn because I think they're in like cahoots with each other. They finally hatch their plan to cost Damian Priest or whatever. That's how I think that's going to work. So I don't think he's losing this match because I don't think Rhea's coming back till later. I mean, obviously, I was wrong about Seth Rollins, so Rhea can easily show up on this show. But
she can show up tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, easily. So
I look at it like there's really no lose-lose scenario. Like if Seth Rollins were to win, we talked about sometimes you need transitional champions. I wouldn't be against him winning and then putting over Gunther because realistically, Seth and Gunther, that's a bigger match for SummerSlam than Damian and Gunther right there.
It is a bigger match, but I wouldn't want to sacrifice because I think Seth losing would do more for Priest, period, than just him losing for a 1 month reign. Bluntly stated, like, I get transitional champions sometimes need to happen, especially when like it makes sense, right? But I think Seth beating Priest in his first match back would be pointless because I think because we're all still under the assumption Gunther's winning this world title, right? We're still somewhere hypothetically, we still believe he's not losing. So if Damian Priest is going to lose, I would rather him have 2 high-profile wins under his belt as opposed to losing to a transitional champion. Because he beat Drew in Scotland, and then he would beat Seth.
No, yeah.
2 high-profile wins that I think would do more for Damian Priest losing eventually at SummerSlam. I don't know. I just feel like
I feel like
would be pointless.
I feel like it adds more on to Damian's story because he said that the Judgment Day needs him more than he needs them. So if he were to lose at the Judgment Day, then he could be like he could think they're still cool, and he could be like whoa, you ain't that what you said on Raw like last week, bro? Like you said that we need y'all more than you ain't the champ no more, bro. So it's like I feel like they wanted to go. I feel like there's no wrong choice here for the winner for me. Anybody who wins here, I'm okay with.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just feel like if Rhea was still here and that's the story they wanted to go with, okay, cool. But I think we're gonna get that intergender mixed tag, and Damian's gonna be on Rhea's side. I mean, he's been on Rhea's side the whole time. He keep telling Dom and Finn to lock in and stuff like that, and stop playing around with Liv. Liv and JD just won because of Liv. Finn and JD just won because of Liv. I don't think Priest is losing this title yet for me. Unless Rhea come back tomorrow and they decide to hatch the plan immediately, fine. But that's how I feel.
I mean, I guess we'll see. Difference of opinions. I guess we'll see how it all plays out and how it ends. I mean, I feel like they can go either direction because Damian can still have great momentum even if he loses because the Judgment Day story is still right there. So they could still easily play into that with his momentum without him having the championship easily right there involved. So, and then like I said, Rhea does play a factor. She could show up tomorrow after the Liv and Selena match. You know what I mean? So I mean, she could show up tomorrow and kind of establish that because I think Liv. I want to assume Liv and Rhea is probably what they want for SummerSlam, assuming that Rhea is 100% cleared and healthy to go. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. There's different aspects that we can go into. But for the people watching, thank you guys for coming through and watching. We are gonna head off here so we can get ready to watch Forbidden Door for the people who do watch AEW.
Was that all the matches?
Yeah, there's only 5 matches.
It's AEW, bro. There's only 5 matches.
That's every PLE, bro. They only do 5 matches now.
I know, but I just felt like there was another one. But dang, hey, that's shorter than 0 hour.
No, that's 1 match longer. That's crazy though.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Having 4 matches is crazy to me. I don't care.
We'll be back next week after Money in the Bank to give our Money in the Bank recap. So by then we'll know who the Money in the Bank winners are, and we'll know where our, I guess, gut instinct is kind of leaning towards and what direction we're heading into as far as SummerSlam goes. So I'm excited to see what happens. I think WWE's on fire right now. Obviously they got some holes to patch up that they got to fix. They'll never be perfect. So
the women's division.
The product will never be perfect, yeah. Like, the women's division is cool, but could be a little bit better, especially when you look at NXT's division and you look at how they're thriving over there.
And
look
at AEW. And your same company.
AEW is doing a lot better as well.
Like, so. how you let Tony Khan outshine you in the women's division? That's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, if we keep it a bug, this is gonna sound so bad to say, but what Tony Khan is doing with his women's division, like, yeah, he outshining Triple H, but that's because I think Triple H was at a point, maybe not now, but I feel like he was actively trying to hurt him. Like, the decisions he was making, for the decisions from when he took over, I feel like he was actively like, there's no way you mess up this women's division that bad. You debut Damage Control, and Malik says it all the time, your leader can never win any of her feuds.
Yeah.
The tag team, when they lost to a makeshift tag team of Raquel and Aaliyah of all people.
I mean, right? But at that time, the AEW's women's division was so trash. So
no, but I'm saying like I feel like obviously we're not counting NXT in this. I feel like the Queen of the Ring tournament, I think it did wonders for them. But right before they did that tournament, WWE's women's division was damn near awful. Like, damn near horrendous. Like, basically my point was, that's still a low bar. The jury's still out on Tony Khan because he made Jade feel like a transitional champion.
No, they're actually doing good stuff, bro. Like, the women's division is actually good. Like, Triple H just fucking sucks at booking women. He just can't. Like, he can't keep up. He's not keeping up with Tony Khan right now. Like, I hate to say it, but he's not. Like, Shawn Michaels he can't even keep up with Shawn Michaels. Like, he just doesn't know how to fucking book.
Shawn Michaels is clearly the best booker.
I mean, the only time he had a good women's division when he was in NXT. Like, he had the best women's division at one point.
Yeah, he did. He did have the best women's division.
The main roster is different. I look at the main roster.
And you know why?
Maybe it's the tag titles. Maybe if he just gets rid of
the tag titles. And you know why? Because AEW actually knows they're actually like using their women. You know, they actually are putting them in storylines. Crazy, right? Crazy. How you have a title or a feud that's not about a title with Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale. That's crazy how that just you can do that. I don't know if Triple H comprehends that, but you can actually do that.
The only people in the women's division that have been really valued are going to be like Rhea, Bianca, Charlotte, Becky, Bayley to an extent. Like, those are the people. You have other people floating around here and there, but realistically, they look at it as that we're going to have our established women and everybody else kind of just floating around and just there when we need them.
I think he's Triple H. I mean, it is hard sometimes because I know me. Sometimes I forget I can't expect things to happen right away. But like Triple H, you've had 2 years with the women's division.
Yeah, bro, it's been almost 2 years.
You've had 2 years, and like, yeah, you're doing a great job with Nia. You're doing a great job with Lyra, and Io's kind of coming back to where she should have been from the get-go. But
overall,
yeah, but it's still.
Anyway, well, whatever.
Did he just lag out?
Damn, that's crazy. We might have to. We got to do it without.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, the connection bugging out, bro. Okay, you're good. To end it all, I feel like they. I just feel like they look at the main roster where they're just going to establish certain women at the top, and then everybody else, like I said, is going to be floating around. You know what I mean? Like Chelsea Green and all those people, like they're doing good stuff, but you don't really see them being on the higher echelon, like where Becky Lynch is at. You know what I mean? Like there are only certain people that are going to get to that top mountain. So NXT and AEW are able to put women in storylines that don't involve championship. Jada Parker and Mia Yim are having a storyline right now that doesn't have a championship involved. So
this is for
all right, bro.
All
right, bro. All
right, y'all. Have you seen what MVP said about Triple H? Yeah, we saw. MVP upset. They could have brought back the Hurt Business, but they didn't want to do it though. So, and to be quite honest though, it might have been for the better because you look at WWE right now, they got so many factions that there's only so many factions.
Yeah.
But you could have kept them here, bro. That was the whole point of putting it with. That was the whole point.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway. No, I'm saying MVP said they could have brought back. Triple H brought back the original Hurt Business, but they said no at the time. Like with Shelton Benjamin, Cedric, and all them. Like at that time when he took over.
I think
if it was 2022, you could have did it, bro.
2022 they could have did it, but honestly, I feel like they only would have gone so far too because the only faction that they only really care about is the Bloodline and Judgment Day. That's really it, bro. Like everybody else is there, bro. They got LWO, they got Final Testament, they got Legado.
They could have feuded with some people in NXT. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people need to go back to NXT. Like Final.
No, they could have feuded with some people in NXT, but I feel like if the Hurt Business was gonna come back, the people would have wanted them to be presented how the Bloodlines. Because I saw somebody in one of the comment sections saying like the Hurt Business could have been with the Bloodline. I'm like, bro, no.
But Bobby Lashley, this will be the last thing I say before we head out. Bobby Lashley, I know he's good. I know he had his TNA run, bro. That man ain't never, and I mean never. To me, ever been on the level to where he could have been a Bloodline type faction Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. He got his one world title reign, and it was good. He should have beat Drew at Mania.
Underrated.
Yeah, it was underrated. It was underrated. Like
no,
I
that
think
Almighty Championship run was fire. Yeah,
but after he lost that thing, which is cool, he lost to the right person. Big E should, you know what I mean? After that, bro, I've been off that nigga, bro.
I agree. I mean, they said they could have the Hurt Business could have been like the Bloodline, but it's like. No, then people, they would keep adding people, and they had to keep adding black people, and then that's when people would have complained about it, because that's what they didn't want in the first place. When they kept making the memes like put Carmelo in there, put Bianca in there, like we don't have to put every black person in Hurt Business, bro. But that's what they would have had to do with the Bloodline, because they put everybody in there who's family.
It's crazy. That's what they keep doing with the LWO.
Yeah, everybody who's Latino.
Carlito joined it. Then Andrade joined it. Then Dragon Lee joined it. Like
yeah. Well, anyway, we got to work with it.
All right, y'all.